We are Funk Motorsport, your heat management specialists. Based in the UK, we strive for perfection, developing thermal products trusted by professional race teams and drivers worldwide. Performance, protection, reliability.
Tarmac Sports.
We're at Three Sisters for round 5 of the British Drift Championships 2019. Last round, Vaskelis lost his King of Consistency crown, taking home no points, leaving the door wide open for Martin Wonnacott to take the championship lead. But it was Alan Hines who took home the full 50 points. With 2 rounds remaining and just 6 points between Wonnacott and Vaskelis, can anyone else challenge for the top spot? Who will be the ultimate driver on the toughest track of the season?
Hello and welcome to the penultimate round of the British Drift Championship 2019, round 5 at Three Sisters. Ian, what a championship we've had.
Well, listen, we said we was going to give you a good championship, and we delivered, because this has been highs and lows from our pro competitors, and these guys have seriously battled it out. We've seen guys leading the championship, they're not even qualifying at another round, and then other guys jumping in and taking the championship at the last minute. Look, the story of this weekend for me, Martin Wonnacott taking first place in qualifying, and that just really cements himself as a contender for this championship, Sarah.
Absolutely. I mean, just rewinding slightly, the big news from NEC, round 4, Vaskelis, he was absolutely storming the championship, then he didn't even qualify. I mean, and now he's back.
Yeah, he certainly is back. Look, yeah, that was big news. That was a big moment in this championship, because he failed to qualify, he knocked himself out, and he went away with a whole load of frustration. And we know he had some problems with that car as well. They put a new engine in it last week. He's come back this weekend, he's looking strong, but he's making some mistakes. He's not looking that strong. And I think you can say, look, the top 3 contenders for the championship, they're kind of on the ropes a little bit. Wonecott's car not 100%, Vaucelis not looking that great, and Ricky Lawrence, the big story, again, another story evolving this weekend. The car breaking, he's jumping into Willie Hanna's Pro-Am car.
Absolutely. I mean, he's looking really, really strong in that car so far in qualifying, so hopefully he's going to gel with it really well and get the points he needs. Enough about what we think.
Yeah.
Shall we have a look at what the drivers think of the championship so far?
To be first in the championship in Pro, never expected it. I mean, we come in this year and we all were saying that if you could come top 10, that would be awesome.
My goal for the BDC this weekend, hopefully to come first, obviously. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. We've had a couple of car issues already this weekend, so it's only early practice. We'll try to get them ironed out, and then hopefully we can at least get top 8 in qualifying, get that all-important bye run, and then see if we can go on to take the podium.
For this year competition, the biggest driver, I don't have it, I think. It's BDC have it strong drivers, but I don't think when they better like me.
Do I think I can win? One time I might have said no. Now, yes. I've got to say yes, because you don't come into this unless you think you can win. You always think you can, but you sort of put it to the back of your mind. Now I have to believe I can, but it's still anybody's.
I coming in BDC 3 years ago and trying this competition. It's a level high. It's, for me, like it, and for this country, for me, better find sponsors. For my country, I don't have sponsors, and I coming here have sponsors and going hard how I can.
For me to win the BDC championship would be absolutely amazing. This is only my 2nd year competing in the BDC. Last year was Pro-Am. So to go on and take my first year in the Pro Championship as I win would be absolutely insane. Obviously no one expects to come in and take it in their first year, so here's hoping.
So Ian, Ricky Lawrence there, a story that you mentioned is one to watch today. He's very confident with his car. Unfortunately, that is no longer an option for him, and he's in Willie Hanna's car. He's borrowed it. That friendship has stepped up a level. That is some trust. So he's definitely one to watch.
He is one to watch, but like he said, he's confident in his own car, and he stepped out of that. He had a prop shaft failure earlier on today in practice, and he had to put in that borrowed car. For me, the standout point in that interview was Aramis Vaucelis saying that there is nobody in the BDC that worries him, and there's nobody that is as good as him. I mean, that's a bold statement when you knock yourself out of qualifying at the previous round, coming into that. And then for me earlier on was the big statement, Wonacott saying, hey, look at me, I'm at the top of the championship, I'll take first place in qualifying, I'm going to take all the points this weekend. So I think Vaucelis is on the ropes ever so slightly.
I think he is. I think he's bringing his A game because he has to. This is his only option now. He's got to do well today to have any chance of clawing that championship back. But Wonacott he's smooth with it today, isn't he? He came out of nowhere and just kind of went, yeah, I'm gonna get this run. It's nearly a 100-point run.
Yeah, look, he came out storming, and that track, we talk about that track quite a lot. Our man Matt on the ground, he took a little walk around it yesterday, so let's have a word from Matt and see how he finds that track.
Three Sisters is one of the most technical tracks we have on our event calendar. For this reason, we're running a rolling start. Let's check it out. This first corner is going to be absolutely crucial, but this is the rolling start. We still haven't initiated yet. So we come up to our second corner, but this is the first point of initiation and our first clipping point. And it's a de-acceleration zone. So this is going to make it really interesting and really tricky for the drivers this weekend. As they come down into the S's, passing clip 2, and they come on to clip 3, which is actually a touch and go. So they need to get in and get out, passing clip 4 onto the straight. As they're coming through to clip 5, which is actually a front clip, but it's not a full transition, it's just a little fakie. As they come into this final section, it's another de-acceleration zone before they go round this hairpin with plenty of rear clipping points and then taking them over the finish line.
Ian, very, very technical track. I was out on it on the practice day on Friday. It is very technical, tight and twisty. We've had a lot of drivers getting caught out by it, but we've also had a lot who've absolutely smashed it.
We've had a lot of smashed it, yeah. Yesterday, Louis Edwards, he top qualified and absolutely killed the track. The track is just, so different to anything else. It's fast in some areas, it flows, it's technical, it's tricky, it catches these guys out. The initiation, downhill. Well, look, the man who topped qualifying today here, first place in our Pro Championship, Matt caught up with him and had a word. Let's hear from Martin Wonacott, our first place qualifier.
Martin Mornicott leading the championship at the moment. It's all to play for. How are you feeling?
Yeah, definitely all to play for. We just hope this weekend goes well, because there's obviously another round after. So long as we can keep doing what we're doing and you know, sort of do okay, then we know that it's still on the line for the last round, which won't be bad for BDC either, like, you know.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because obviously, you know, in the practice day yesterday you had a few little issues and was actually getting your tuner to actually, like, over the phone to map the car.
Yeah, we had to get Greg on TeamViewer because well, we've had a couple of issues over the last few weeks. We had it back along, but obviously you're not mentioning everything, but the iPad's breaking down for the dash, which means we can't choose our settings for power and, you know, which nitrous setting we're running. So we had to get him on TeamViewer. He set it up basically so that I've got one map this weekend, but it's fine, you know, it's not bothering us. It's not an issue now, as long as we go out there and it runs fine. Yesterday in practice, at the end we had an hour once we had done that, and it was all fine. So all we got to do is dial the car in now, so it's good.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing you out there, and fingers crossed you keep that spot on the top of the championship.
Yeah, cheers mate, thank you.
So there we go, ladies and gentlemen, and on your screen, you guys in attendance, take a look across the track at the big screen, because this is our top 24 battle tree, and we're almost ready to rock and roll. Me and Sarah just took the quick run up into the tower, and these guys are stacking it up. You can see some absolutely stacked battles. I'm not going to go all the way through them, because we're going to get them to the line, and we're almost ready to go. We're on Toby to warm up the first car, the first pair of tyres on the line to go. It'll be Paul Smith to take on Hugh Saville, and what a great battle that is going to be, Sarah.
This is going to be absolutely epic. I mean, Paul Smoky Smith was looking very, very strong earlier on. I mean, Hugh Saville not far behind him. I think he was a little bit less consistent, but let's see. It could go anywhere.
Yeah, look, for me, Hugh Saville's not looking as good as consistent as what he has been for all weekend. He just seems to be on the ropes ever so slightly. Maybe him, that car, the track, they're just not gelling as one, and that's not where you want to be. You know, he's not fighting for the championship, but he's definitely fighting for a podium, and he's going to want, you know, to be at the top end of this scale this weekend. He's going to want to try and get a trophy and go home with a smile on his face as we head into the final round at Buxton. But Paul Smoky Smith looked good flying. Like I said, been to Europe this year, got some experience, come back home, and he said there's nothing like driving in my home country. I love being back home in front of the UK crowds. Ladies and gentlemen, here in Wigan, you having some fun? That's not good enough, guys. Look, I was easy on you yesterday. I didn't make you make too much noise, but today I expect a little bit more from you guys. We're almost ready to kick off our top 24 battle. You can see the guys on the line ready to go. Saville to take on Smith, but before I send them, I need everybody here, and I mean every single person here at Three Sisters Race Circuit, to make some noise! That's what I'm talking about, Wigan. Now we're kicking off. Toby, let's get this show on the road. Up first will be Smoky Smith to lead and Hugh Saville to give chase. And this one, well, not a lot in it. Two very, very similar cars. In fact, the older brother of one of them is out on track alongside its younger brother, but who will be taking it through as Smith fires it in to the outside zone? And just look at this, the pace of Paul Smoky Smith. As he dives into outside zone 3, you can see Hugh Saville making a little bit of an error there, a little bit panicked to try and dive up onto the side of Paul Smoky Smith. He'll be looking at Smith saying, wow, this guy's been representing our country in Europe this year, and he's come home to battle the best in the UK at the moment. But Hugh Saville makes a dive, but just doesn't have the proximity, as Smoky Smith stands on the accelerator and takes that little GT86 across the line.
Strong lead from Smoky Smith there. I don't think, like you say, Ian, I think he didn't quite have the proximity that he would have wanted. He did, like you say, he did do a dive down the back there, but just wasn't quite enough.
I don't think it was enough. Yeah, look, and if we go back to yesterday, yesterday was, if you guys tuned in, hopefully you did, hopefully you tuned in, and hopefully many of you guys came yesterday and come back to support our pro drivers today. You will know that the tale yesterday of the tape was that proximity was the key. If these guys didn't have, you know, that proximity, they weren't going to win the battle. And judges saying that if there's more than 3 clipping points between these two drivers, it will be classed as an inactive chase. So these guys have got to be careful now. They need to be door and door. We expect them to be door and door, and I want them. I'm going to encourage the damage. You know, trade some paint, put some tyres on some car doors.
That's what these people have come here to see, some action and some drama, and I think we're probably going to get it this afternoon.
Well, so they're off the line now, and you can see Hugh Saville to lead. V8 turbo underneath the bonnet of that AE86 right now as he gets that car nicer deep into outside zone 2. But Smoky Smith hot on the tail. Smoky Smith almost overcooks it. It makes contact. Look at the door. He did make contact as he hit him on the rear quarter and put Hugh Saville into a spin. So over aggression from Paul Smith as he now continues up the run. Judges wanting to take a quick look at the replay on that one. as they come in. You can see just a little touch there from Paul Smokey Smith. And those guys parked it on circuit. They're just going to finish up these runs as they come past. You can see passenger door on that GT86 all dented in, where he hit the back end of that little AE86. You know what, Sarah, these guys don't like to make it easy for our judges, do they?
They don't. I mean, we had this yesterday. The battles were so close. Some of them were just, I mean, I don't know how the judges do it. I don't envy their job whatsoever. I mean, this is really difficult now because look how strong Paul Smokey Smith looked in the lead, and then he just overcooked it a bit.
Yeah, but look, judges will be looking at this at two ways. They'll either say, was Paul Smokey Smith coming in too hot, or was Hugh Savile off throttle in outside zone 3? That's what they'll be looking at. They'll be looking at the rear wheels. Was there tyre smoke? Were the wheels spinning? If there wasn't, they're going to put Hugh Savile at fault, because Paul Smokey Smith will be expecting Hugh Savile to accelerate in the area. There is no decel there. The only decel there is as they come down the highway to hell into outside zone 6. So judges talking about this one now, having a little bit of deliberation. Not an easy jump for them straight out of the gate, and the first battle of the day causes them a little bit of a headache.
It's not easy at all, and like you said, the first guys out the gate as well, you've got that pressure, haven't you? You've got that pressure, because all they've been doing so far today, they've been getting seat time.
And look at Hugh Savile, he's just leaning out the car saying, are you serious?
More
damage on the car? Like, his hands up, he's like, come on guys, just stop beating my car up now.
He's not a happy chap.
Well, decisions in, slide them left for Smith, right for Savile. Oh, look at this, 1 vote, 2 votes, 3 votes for Savile. It's unanimous. Hugh Savile gets the win. No need to go to the judges, because I'm guessing I was right. Smokey Smith just coming in a little bit too hot, and I get the thumbs up. Yes, Smokey Smith just a little bit too over aggressive, knocks himself out of competition, the first big upset in our competition as we move it along to the start line. Sarah, who's up next?
It's your boy Ollie Bolton, and we have Scott Cartledge going up against him. We shall see. We've got Oliver Bolton, actually he qualified a lot higher, so this is going to be quite an interesting one.
It certainly is going to be an interesting one. Yeah, I do believe Cartledge was 24th place qualified and almost knocked himself out. Oliver Bolton just got knocked out of the 8th place qualifier by Vasquez. And Bolton been looking strong all weekend, said he's feeling good, the car's working 100%, and he's in the zone, you know, he's in that zone. Listen, let me tell you a little secret about Oliver Bolton. He has gone 3 for 3 podiums. That means he has gone every event he has attended, he has had a podium. That's one podium in Scotland at the Retro Drift Challenge. Then he went to NEC, he got a podium there. Then he went back to the Retro Drift Challenge. He took the top step on the podium in Pembury in Wales. He's back here now, and he said, you know what, Ian, I'm not messing around, buddy. I'm going to go for another podium. He said, I'm going to be on the podium this weekend, and I'm going to go 4 for 4. He said, because nobody in the UK yet has done 3 events, 3 podiums. He said, and I want to be the only guy to do 4 for 4. That's a bold statement.
It is a bold statement, but you know, good on him for going for that goal. And I think he's got the potential to do it.
He certainly has got the potential to do it. He's got the car, he's got the driving talent, and yeah, like I say, qualifying in 9th place, he was almost in that great 8. You can see that car battered and bruised. You wouldn't say that he owns Bolton Bodyworks, because to say that car, that's disappointing on Ollie's side.
Well, I guess so, but you know, this is drifting, isn't it?
It certainly is drifting.
All about.
We expect to get these guys putting them on the wall, so...
You said you wanted damage.
We certainly do. Well, they're off the line, ready to go. It will be Bolton to lead in Cartledge for a spot in the top 16. A big, nice initiation there from Bolton as he fires into outside zone 2. You can see him dabbing the foot brake, but look at Cartledge, gets himself caught up in the mix, almost makes contact. Back onto the door goes Cartledge again, almost over-rotates. He's scrappy. He's on the inside of the track. Cartledge making a whole host of errors as Bolton absolutely flies into outside zone 7, smokes out Scott Cartledge. Cartledge dives through the smoke up onto the door of that Funk Motorsport S13 as Ollie Bolton squeezes the accelerator and dials them yet more angle at it as he takes it across the line. Incredible stuff.
Unbelievable run. Now, from where I'm sitting, that was awesome, because that is the action you want to see. You want to see these guys fighting for their place. Scott Cartledge there, yet like you said, a little bit scrappy, but are the judges going to reward his commitment, because he was really sending it?
Look, he was really sending it. Yeah, there was full commitment there, and you're right to point that out, Sarah.
Absolutely, but was it too scrappy?
I think it was too scrappy. I think he was making silly mistakes, dives he found himself, you know, in the middle of the track, and you can't say Bolton was slow. There's no way you can say, oh, Ollie Bolton, you know, maybe he was slow around the track. It was just Cartledge panicked. He knew he had to make the dive. He knew he had to stick it to the door. Listen, this is the pro top 24 competition. Nobody goes 50% in this. Everybody out there says we'll put the car on the line, we've got one more event to go, let's get this done, let's get some more points. And Bolton 7th in the Pro Championship, rookie year. If he can get on the podium this weekend, well, who knows? He could be up in the fight for the championship as they go to Buxton. They're off the line, ready to go. Cartledge to lead, Bolton to give chase. Now Bolton's going to try and dive onto the back bumper of that PS13, but he's gave him a little bit of room. He's given Cartledge a little bit of room, but Cartledge in the middle of the track now, and you can see Bolton trying to follow his line. It's a very bad lead line from Scott Cartledge right now as he's panicked, and you can see him trying to drive away. Look at Bolton, very wise move from Ollie Bolton as he stays on that qualifying line, gets that car nice and wide into outside zone 7. Drivers told in the briefing, if you couldn't gain proximity, stay on the qualifying line, and Bolton has done that. As they come round Luna Bend and into the final outer zones, Bolton takes it across the line to finish up the run.
Yeah, I think the judges are probably going to take into consideration that Scott Cartledge isn't putting in an easy run to chase for Bolton there. So I think you're probably right. He did do the right thing by keeping on the qualifying line. It's the best option he probably had at that point.
And judges pointed this out in qualifying, saying, look, if you start losing ground, don't make silly mistakes to gain that proximity. Stick to the qualifying line. And you see Bolton do that on outside zone 3. He came into outside zone 3. He looked across at Cartledge. Decisions in. Slide him left for Bolton, right for Cartledge. Oh, look at this. 2 votes for Oliver Bolton. He goes through to the top 16. Judges, we send it to you. Very scrappy there from Scott Cartledge. Very scrappy.
Yeah, absolutely, Ian. We had a fantastic lead line there from Oliver Bolton. He gave Scott all the opportunity to be able to get onto his door, but Scott was cut off multiple times, making a catalogue of errors behind him. So we had the first run advantage to Ollie at 8-2. On the second run, a really poor lead line from Scott there, and not much proximity from Ollie, and we had that at an average 5-5, but the 8-2 from the first run gave Oliver the win.
So there we go, scoring an 8-2 in a lead position. Just goes to show you how strong Bolton's looking right now. We go back to the line, Sarah. Who's up next?
We have Ollie Elmore and Oliver Silcock. So this is the 2 Ollies in this one.
You're going to get so confused by the end of this one, didn't you?
And there's another one somewhere.
We're going to have to restart you. I pressed the reset button on your back in a minute because this one's going to get crazy. Off the line, Ollie Silcock to lead out Ollie Elmore. And let's hope we don't get confused with the Ollies as they come down smashing through the gears. Silcock in that immaculate PS13 fires in, but no proximity from Ollie Elmore at the moment in that hell performance R33 Nissan Skyline. We know he broke his car doing a burnout for the crowd. That just goes to show you the dedication, but he's still in it. He maybe only got 2 gears in that car. As he hangs onto it, you can see Elmore on the ropes like a wounded deer at the moment. He's trying to get himself into the fight, but he's shortcutting the circuit. Very shallow angle there from Elmore as he dives back up onto the side of Silcock's PS13. Another massive mistake from Ollie Elmore as they come across the line.
Yeah, unfortunately, Elmore there just sacrificing the line a little bit. I think the judges are obviously not going to reward that. He wasn't getting the proximity to warrant sacrificing the line as much as he did, I don't think. And I think that's probably going to go into Silcock's favour, but he's got another chance to redeem himself.
Well, we give the thumbs up to our start line, to our track official, should I say, in the tower, our main man, Toby, and stands right opposite me. If you've got yourself a flyer, you can read an article all about Toby, a full-time professional head chef in a restaurant, and on the weekends he throws away the whites, he chucks on a high vis, and he comes and stands in the tower alongside me and sends these cars off the... Look, these got chefs, we've got everyone's got...
Alter egos.
Alter ego superheroes. Yeah. That's what these guys are. Well, we're waiting for Ollie Elmore to make his way to the line, and you can hear him on the radio. You can see him, on the radio. So potentially that car wounded. Yeah, is he calling over our start line, Marshall Melks? Maybe he's out of competition. It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me because Elmore, maybe he's sitting there saying, if I leave the line and I call Silcock to crash, that's just not fair. No, do you know what I mean? That's not a fair situation. And Ollie Elmore, he's very, very experienced. He's been driving for many, many years, and he will know when to make the right call. Yeah, look at that, look, and he's giving the signal to Melk saying, I'm out, I don't want to risk the car, I don't want to cause any accidents between any drivers. And you know what, it takes a real man to sit on that line and say, Ollie Silcock, you take the win and you move through. And I'm just guessing here, but I can tell by the body language. And I'm getting the signal from my man Toby saying he's out. So, ladies and gentlemen, Ollie Elmore bows out of competition. Not sure if he's going to try and drive around by the crowd and show you guys some appreciation. But that car, doing a burnout for the crowd, blew the gearbox up and caused himself a big issue. Look at the windscreen. You mentioned it earlier. The windscreen flipped in practice and smashed. And it's just had a rough week.
Sorry, the windscreen.
Windscreen didn't flip.
The windscreen.
Because that'd be really oddball, wouldn't it? The windscreen flipped. Yeah, bonnet flipped, smashed the windscreen.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think he did. I'm sure I overheard earlier he had a problem with some sort of part of the transmission. So maybe that's obviously what's knocked him out now, unfortunately.
Yeah, so there we go. And we need to make that official. Hopefully, we're going to get that graphic up on the screen. But yeah, Ollie Silcock will get the win and advance through to the top 16. Here we go. Yeah, 3 votes from the judges and Elmore out of competition. Hopefully we'll see him at Buxton back in that car on 100%. Who's up next, Sarah?
We have Stefan Stefanoff versus Nathan Chivers. Now, Nathan, I hope he hasn't rattled himself because he did have a big off in practice this morning. But he was back out earlier on for qualifying. He's obviously made it this far, so hopefully he's got his head back in the game and he's going to show what he can do.
Well, he certainly has got to show us what he's got to do right now, because he's going up against a man who looked good in qualifying, and this guy got himself on the podium at round 3 at Teesside Autodrome in the worst weather conditions I think anybody has ever seen before.
Yes.
And not only that, Chivers rattled himself earlier a little bit by taking that car to the wall. He's back. He did get a score in qualifying, but for me, I think this is going to play out to experience now. And although Chivers has been driving for 10 years in the British Drift Championship, Stefanov has just been incredible, and he's done so much chase driving and so much battling this year that I think this is going to be, maybe one ball in Stefanov's court as they come off the line. Look at that, Stefanov not messing around. These guys on a rolling start as they come through the cones and match side by side now as they come down. Stefanov to lead and Nathan Chivers to give chase. We've already seen one Hell Performance car go out. Will we see one go through to the top 16? Well, they both get knocked out in top 24 as Stefanov fires it into that outside zone. You can see Chivers giving him a good chase at the moment. Oh, but Chivers throws it into a spin, and Stefanov stands on the throttle and gets himself round Luna Bend, throws on big angle at outside zone 8 and finishes out the run. He'll take a quick look across the track and he'll see Nathan Chivers there and say, well, that was an easy one.
Unfortunately so, and we always say it's not the way that the drivers want to win a battle, but unfortunately it does happen sometimes, and you do have to kind of rely that the other driver's going to make an error, and you're going to take the win, and that's what's probably happened in this instance. But unfortunately for Nathan, he just overcooked it and didn't spin.
Yeah, a lot of these guys, like you say, they want to battle head to head. They don't want to go out through technicality. And Stefanov would have wanted Chivers to give him a good fight, but unfortunately for Chivers, knocked himself out of the game there in the first half of that battle. But anything can happen. We see it yesterday. We see crashes and spins and all sorts of action. So they pull back up to the line, and now Stefanov will chase down Nathan Chivers. And Chivers in that car rattled, knowing that his teammate's gone out. Can he put himself in a position where he can put Stefanov out of competition? Well, they pull back to the line, and as you can see, that battered and bruised Nissan 200SX get the thumbs up, and they are good to go. It will be Stefanov to give chase, Chivers to lead, and they come round. You can see that pace cone denoted by that yellow speed racing flag. They fire down, and Chivers is very wide, and that is almost where Fitzgerald ripped his wheel completely off, and this time Chivers gets away with it. But look at Stefanov, and this is what I was talking about, that experience in that chase position, as Stefanov dials himself in, and another spin for Nathan Chivers on outside zone 7, and you can see Stefanov just bailing out of that one and keeping himself safe.
Yeah, well done to Stefanov for not getting caught up too much in that there. What is happening with Nathan Chivers today, I don't know. Is there something not right with the car after the off earlier on? Is it something a mental thing that he's trying to battle, because obviously he doesn't want to come off again?
I think it could come down to two things, Sarah. I think it's going to come down to the fact, he put that car in the wall earlier on. Maybe there's some damage on the car, but I know Nathan Chivers from a very long time, and I know he's got every single spare in the package in the van, and he's got a very good team behind him down in the paddock. He's got a serious pit setup, so they would have had that car, looking and feeling 100% before they sent him out for this battle. I think in his head, maybe he was thrown. It just got to him. Little rush of blood to the head as he came into outside zone 7. And
it's easily done, isn't it? Because he knows it counts now, and it's one thing in practice when you've got time to fix the car and get back out, and then when it gets down to the battles, you just don't want to get knocked out, and that pressure's there in the back of your mind.
Oh, there we go. Look at that free vote. Stefanov gets the win and advances through to the top 16. Unfortunately, 2 Hell Performance cars out of competition. That's such a shame. Those guys both suffering problems this weekend, and you know what? They'll go back, lick their wounds and prepare themselves for the final round in Buxton in a few weeks' time. And Sarah, who's up next?
Next up we have the man who's making a comeback for today, Simon Perry and Adam Simmons. So we'll just wait for these guys to get lined up and ready to go. You can see them just pulling up to the line there.
Yeah, so there we go. You can see that Nissan Skyline, Nissan R35 GTR on the line of Simon Perry, ready to rock and roll. He sits up alongside a good friend of his, Adam Simmons, in that DKM Clutch Slide Motorsport BMW Z4. Perry to lead, Simmons to give chase, and we see these guys tussle a little bit in practice earlier on. Oh, wow, and what's happened here? And we know Simon Perry's had a couple of issues with that car before he got to this event, and look like, another little shutdown there from Perry, and Perry's car absolutely shuts it down. and Perry jumps that car up into the curb. Simmons gets back into it. He's going to finish up a run again. Mechanical failures plaguing some of these drivers this weekend, Sarah.
That's it, and I mean the guys put so much, money and effort and technology into these cars. They really do have the best of the components, but unfortunately they're coming under so much stress and strain. These components, the cars are getting absolutely revved to high hell, really, every single round. So at some point components do fail, unfortunately, and it's just always at the wrong time.
It's never a good time, Sarah.
No.
It's never a good time.
It's always at the worst.
Your car breaking down can never, unless you don't want to go to work. I tell you when a good time for your car to break down is Monday morning. When you're getting it on the driveway,
nice,
and you put the key in the ignition and you turn aside and you go, oh, well, that's a shame.
I can't go now.
Can't get into work today, so that's the end of that one. So, yeah, we're going to send recovery out to claim Simon Perry from the circuit. And he does have a 5-minute rule. Naturally, these guys get a 5-minute rule from top 24 all the way up to the top 4, and then they get another 5-minute rule in the top 4. But it does take away a championship point. So if Simon Perry decides he's going to call a 5-minute rule to try and repair that car, he'll lose a point. He hasn't got any in the championship at the moment.
Well,
so it'd be minus a point.
That might work out all right for him then.
It might work out all right.
But I know he was really set on making a statement today, wasn't he?
He certainly was. Look, he told a lot of people, he messaged a lot of people, and he said, I'm going to come back to the BDC and I'm going to mess the championship. I'm going to prove why I was the best. Ladies and gentlemen, give him a round of applause. Simon Perry, as he sits in that car, an absolute OG in UK drifting and a valued member of our community. Such a shame to see him sitting down there broken down. But we are going to get that car recovered off circuit and take a quick moment to say a huge thank you to our sponsors, because of course, Sarah, without them none of this would be possible. So I'll give you the you can take the reins. Take the reins, Sarah.
Thank you. First of all, we'll say thank you to Hell Performance, who are here in attendance as well, so you can head down to their tent for some lovely shiny components if that's what takes your fancy. We've got M-Tech Brakes, On It, Funk Motorsport, AM Details, Samco Sport, Yellow Speed Racing, Excite Energy, Simpson, OBP Motorsport, Corbo Seats, Tarmac Sports, Competition Clutch and Slide Motorsport. Yeah, without any of the sponsors, this just does not come to fruition, does it?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't, indeed. And look, not only that, but we've got a lot of them guys in attendance. We've got a few guys in attendance, obviously, this weekend. We've got the BDC merchandise tent right by the Silvergate, the exit to the entrance to the track. Get yourself down there, get a limited edition T-shirt with Adam Simmons' Z4 on it.
Yep. Pretty cool.
Not only that, you get yourself some hoodies, some bobble hats, there's loads of stuff. Yeah, Steve, very right next door to him in the Hell Performance tent, he's supplying brake lines and lines for all the drivers free of charge this weekend. And if you need some parts, get down there, give him a shout. Very nice guy, travels all the way from Devon to come to all these events. Cornwall, Devon, one or two, I can't remember, to be at these events. Right next door to him, Gala Performance, a good sponsor, jumping on board this year for 2019. And obviously, give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, as he comes past. Simon Perry, an absolute legend. And then obviously we've got the guys, the Drift Games guys, Dave Egan and his crew come along with the Drift Games merchandise tent this weekend. Come down there and see Mikey Leeson and the guys selling merchandise, Hoonigan merchandise as well. And then right opposite there we've got Wharton Motorsports selling a lot of cool stuff. You can spend a lot of money this weekend.
You certainly could.
Big shout out to the Twisted Performance guys over there, got a club stand, and obviously the Rat Pack RC guys as well, because I want some donuts for Buxton. So if we can make the donuts happen for Buxton RC Rat Pack guys, that would be splendid.
Yes, go and have a little go. Little RC cars, are they 110? I can't remember what scale they are. I'm not nerdy enough, but
my maths is terrible.
It's been a long time since I played with RC cars, but I did have a go of those, and I'm not very good, I can tell you that.
Well,
but these guys will show you how it's done. It's awesome fun. Miniature RC cars, it's awesome.
Miniature drift cars, yeah, incredible stuff. Yeah, so not only that, you can walk around the paddock, meet the drivers, meet the crews, have a look at what these guys are running and what they're putting on their cars. We go back to the start line, Sarah. Who is up next?
We have got Ricky Lawrence in the borrowed car from Willie Hanna, so we'll see hopefully how he gets on with that. He was pretty strong in qualifying, so yeah, hopefully he does it very, very well. And the birthday boy, Hayden Cruikshank.
Well, there we go, yeah, Hayden Cruikshank and Ricky Lawrence. Ricky Lawrence pulls to the line in that borrowed car championship contenders. He's on the line right now. He needs to make it into the top 16 to get this one on the go. They're off the line and good to go. Cruikshank will have nothing more to upset the apple cart right now. They smash through the gears and Lawrence starts to pull away, and that Nissan Skyline R33 as they fire into outside zone 1. And look at Ricky Lawrence already starting to pull away from Hayden Cruikshank as he gets nice and deep into outside zone 3, transitions into the middle of the circuit. Now this is where Lawrence can make the move as he flies down the highway to hell. Big angle in, but look at Cruikshank. He wants this, he's hungry for a podium, as Hayden Cruikshank would love nothing more on his birthday than to get into the top 16, and tries to put that big JZX up onto the side. They come across the line. Incredible stuff.
Brilliant run from both drivers there. That was very, very close. You could see Cruikshank making a few dives, getting really, really close with the proximity, so the judges are definitely going to be looking for that and rewarding that. But also Ricky Lawrence in Willie Hanna's borrowed car there, looking quite strong. The line was really good. Let's see how the judges will reward once they've had the second run.
Yeah, these guys got another run to go yet as they pull back up to the start line. Hayden Cruikshank, that battered and bruised Ricky Bobby liveried Toyota pulls to the line. You get the thumbs up all round. And Ricky Lawrence in that Nissan Skyline of Willie Hanna. Shout out to Willie Hanna for lending out your car, because that is, you know, brave move right now as they come off the line. Lawrence to give chase. Lawrence needs this for the championship, but Hayden Cruikshank wants it for his birthday. Almost contact. Aggression from Ricky Lawrence on that initiation was insane right there as they fire down into outside zone 2. Oh wow, look at Ricky Lawrence not messing around right now in a borrowed car. Says, I don't care, I'll build 2 cars before Buxton, as he makes a huge dive up onto the side of Hayden Cruikshank into outside zone 7. Both guys back on the throttle, and Ricky Lawrence back into it once again as they come round Luna and to outside zone 10. Make some noise, Wigan.
Amazing, amazing run. We've got a standing ovation in the tower here, and a round of applause for that. I would have said overall that was quite hard to judge, but now I've seen Ricky Lawrence do that, he was getting really close. I think that's probably going to swing it.
Ricky Lawrence said, look, I'll make this easy for you. I'll make this real easy, and I'll show you how to make a dive, and I'll show you how to drive a borrowed car. And I'm pretty sure there's a few times there Willie Hanna was like, well, I'll just turn around, I don't need to see this.
I can imagine
but decision's in.
Watching that.
Slide him left for Ricky Lawrence, right for Hayden Cruikshank. 1 vote for Lawrence, 2 votes for Lawrence. Lawrence goes through to the top 16 and keeps the championship alive. Judges, we need to come to you. Ricky Lawrence is on form.
Absolutely killing it, and he's in a borrowed car, and it really, really shows how good a skill he's got when he can just jump in and go for it. A fantastic lead run from Ricky Lawrence. We gave the advantage 7-3. Hayden Cruikshank having to cut the track to gain proximity. On the second run, amazing transition from Ricky Lawrence chasing there from clips 2 to 3. Awesome proximity all the way through. A little bit less as they were coming over the last corner, but we still had it a 7-3 advantage, and Ricky Lawrence takes the advantage.
Well, there we go. Ricky Lawrence getting the winner. Moving on, and up next, Sarah, we have got
Alistair Sutton versus Robin Neeson. So Alistair Sutton and Robin Neeson 14th and 19th in the qualification, so not too far away from each other.
Not too far away from each other, but let me tell you a little secret. Oh no, it's not even a secret. It's all out there. It's all out there for everyone to find out. On the line, there's over 1,000 horsepower. Way over 1,000 horsepower. Because it's not split dead in the middle. Oh, no. There's 280 horsepower in the S14 of Alistair Sutton, and there is 800 horsepower in the S13 of Robin Neeson. But Robin Neeson, he said to me earlier, he said, I'm a bit of a wild man. This track doesn't suit my driving style, and I can make mistakes here, there and everywhere. But we know Alistair Sutton's a very good a line driver, and that proves it. Higher qualifier comes off the line. It will be Sutton to lead, Neeson to give chase. Can Neeson rein it in 5% and stick it to the door? Well, he's going to try, but it's not an easy task. But he's got the perfect line to follow right now as Alistair Sutton gets nice and deep into outside zone 3. A good transition back. Look at that nice flick from Sutton into the middle of the circuit. And Robin Neeson not doing a bad job so far. He's going to try and make the dive now. As you can see him absolutely flying to outside zone 7. And Neeson in the middle of the track is going to make a dive up onto the door. Almost contact there as Neeson backs out of it ever so slightly. Stands on the throttle once more time. Pushes 2 cars across the line. Gets himself in the middle of the track.
You're right, Ian. Alistair Sutton definitely a technical line driver, and he's shown that in previous battles, and he's shown it there as well. That was a great line for Robin Neeson to follow. Now Robin Neeson's got to do the same.
I'll tell you what, all Robin Neeson's going to do is just going to drive away, because he knows he's got the grip, he knows he's got the power, he knows he's got the torque. It's very good, a very, very well built car from the guys at Quins M Sport, and that car is going to grip up and go. And I think Alistair Sutton, this will be the proximity effect. You know, I think it will just come down to, unfortunately for Alistair Sutton, not being able to have the proximity. But look, I say power's a big thing, a big contender in this track, and it is when you're sitting next to a car that's got 800 horsepower. But you go back to Louis Edwards. He battled it out yesterday with some of the best with not as much horsepower as them, and he still managed to get on the podium. So they're off the line. Anything could happen. Neeson to lead, Sutton to give chase right now, as Neeson's thinking this could just be all mine if I can put down 800 horsepower to this circuit, or can he hold it on the circuit as he fires into outside zone 1? Late handbrake, and Sutton uses that opportunity, that mistake, to get up onto the door, almost contact as Sutton risks everything to make another dive as they transition, and Sutton using everything he's got at his disposal to try and battle down Robin Neeson right now as they come through outside zone 7. Starts to get lost in the smoke, does Alistair Sutton, but he's right there with him. He's still in the fight right now as Alistair Sutton shallows up and makes a dive up to the door, but this is where Neeson starts to pull away as he puts the hammer down and drives it across the line.
Neeson definitely using that power there to pull away from him at the end, but to be honest with you, Alistair Sutton, he kept up a lot better than I thought he would.
Yeah, and it goes back to what I was saying about Louis Edwards. Louis Edwards, not the most highest horsepower car in the world, and lacks maybe a little bit of impact on that side of things, but it still stayed in the fight. And Alistair Sutton, I'll go back to it again, these guys that have learnt to drive in these BMWs have come through the ranks in the Pro-Ams and the Drift Cups. They learned to drive the line so well that they used the momentum in the car and that no lift attitude to keep with it, and it just goes to prove even with 800 horsepower you can still be in the fight. Sliding left for Sutton, right for Robin Neeson. 1 vote for Neeson, 2 votes for Neeson, and Robin Neeson gets the win, advances through. Judges, we just quickly go back to you for that one.
We were just recapping over that. On the first run, we had it as an average 5.5, an error on entry from Sutton, and very poor lead run, which didn't give Robin Easton the opportunity there to get any proximity. So we couldn't really give an advantage to either driver and set it at 5.5. On the second run, Robin Easton put in a very, very solid lead run, which gave all the opportunity, but Sutton had a couple of errors, but we gave the advantage to Robin Easton 6.4, so he only won it by 1 point.
There we go, that one a very, very close one, and yeah, just a little mistake there from Alistair Sutton knocking himself out of competition. Up next, Sarah, the final battle in our top 24.
Absolutely, we've got Mike Walton, who did struggle a little bit this morning in practice, but then he pulled it together, sorted himself out, and he managed 11th in qualifying overall, so that was pretty good. And then Leonard Kepper is alongside him there. That's a pretty epic car as well, isn't it?
You could say that. It's pretty serious build.
It's pretty serious stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty serious build there from Leonard Kepper. That S54 turbo making 800 horsepower, and a little thumbs up from both the guys from our Starlight Marshall, and we are good to go. It will be Walton to lead out Kepper for the final spot in our top 16. Still that undecided battle of Perry and Simmons. We're going to find out what's happening right there as we can see Walton fire that car in. Oh, Kepper comes in hot and makes contact. Kepper comes in very hot and makes contact with that rear wheel, front wheel to rear wheel. And Walton puts it into a spin. We're going to have to see a replay of that one. I don't know about anyone else, but my monitor had a little freeze for a moment there.
It did, it kind of jumped a little bit, just at the wrong time.
And another spin there from Mike Walton, but I'm going to assume that there's damage on the back of that car. I'm going to assume there's damage on the back of Walton's car and the tracking's out. And that's making that car very difficult to drive as Leonard Kepper's going to try and finish up the run, make sure his car's good. As Mike Walton now makes his way around, he's just going to drive it. He's going to give it. So you can see there damage on the front of that E46 BMW. Take a look at the replay here as they fire it in. You can see the contact. Yeah, Leonard Kepper for me just coming in a little bit too hot, Sarah.
Yeah, it looked like it. Again, I was looking for that tip you give me there. It might look like the driver chasing has actually been the one to cause the stoppage or the contact, but sometimes it's because that first lead driver actually slows down, but it didn't look like he did there. It didn't look like he'd locked up or anything.
No, you can see a good consistent smoke coming from the back end of Mike Walton's car, so I'm going to say Mike Walton's on throttle and Kepper just coming hot. Look, he knows that Walton's got a fast car. These guys practiced together earlier on today, so there would have been that in it. They would have kind of known where these guys are at. Is Mike Walton's car ready to rock and roll? Well, he's back on the line. He gives the thumbs up to say, yep, I'm ready to go. I'm going to try and do a chase. So let's see what happens. They're on the line. Leonard Kepper to lead, Mike Walton to give chase. And can Walton repay the favour and trade a little bit of paint now with Leonard Kepper? They come round through the pace cone. Kepper smashing through the gears. And Walton onto the back bumper he goes. Nice initiation from both those guys, but drop into the middle of the circuit from Leonard Kepper. Not a nice lead at the moment. Can he find himself back on that qualifying line? And Mike Walton does everything he can to try and chase him down, but look at the difference in pace right now as Leonard Kepper fires through. And it sounds like one of these cars has got a huge misfire as they come in front of tower, and it potentially could be Leonard Kepper's car as it's not making all the tyre smoke in the world, but nevertheless he's getting it round. They come across the line, and a scrappy lead there from Leonard Kepper.
Yeah, you're right, and I think that was a pretty scrappy lead, but they probably rattled themselves, I think, now after that little contact in the first run.
yeah, these guys would have been a little bit shook there, and it was quite a big contact, and quite surprised that Mike Wharton didn't use a 5-minute rule to go back into the paddock and check that car. He must have been confident in himself that it was good enough. We're seeing from another replay from that beginning, you can see Will is spinning at that time and he's making tyre smoke, so he's on throttle, so he is trying to drive. The only thing is that I can point out is that he is quite off the qualifying line, because he handbraked, initiated, and then you can see that car, it was mid-track, so he was going to sacrifice outside zone 2. Just putting it out there, Sarah. Just putting it out there.
It's a valid point.
Yeah, watch this. We're going to get another replay. So you guys in attendance, look at the big screen, you can see exactly what went down. As they fire it in, as they fire, look how far into the centre of the circuit Mike Wharton is. Our judge is going to say, hold on a minute, Mike Wharton was offline and he impeded Leonard Keppert's line.
Could well be the point.
We got any Mike Wharton fans in the house? We got any Leonard Keppert fans in the house? Fair enough. A fair fight.
Evens.
Evens. Well, decisions in. Slidham left for Wharton, right for Leonard Keppert. Brad Benham Ryan. Where do we sit? Oh, 1 vote for Leonard Keppert, 3 votes for Leonard Keppert. Keppert gets the win. And judges, we need an explanation from you on that one.
Yeah, no doubt there. The biggest issue we had there was Mike Wharton's entry. He came in obviously quite strong. Leonard following him, expecting Mike to go from 1 round the corner to 2. And what we saw there was Mike coming offline. He just about come onto power, but he was offline, impeding Keppert. Keppert's not expecting him to come through the middle of the corner there, expecting to push out wide, and that's where the contact happened. And we blame that on Mike Wharton, unfortunately, putting a 10-0 advantage in Keppert's favour on that run. Keppert's not, his lead run wasn't great, but there was nothing there to cause a 10-0. So unfortunately, with that, impeding in the first run, Keppert goes through.
And look at that! Just as we get the decision, we can see on the live stream that Leonard Keppert is having that car pushed off track.
So can he even make
it to the top 16? Well, we'll find out, as Leonard Keppert will be battling Josh King in the top 16. So he's going to have to make sure that car is 110%. We just need to find out if Simon Perry can make it to the line, and there we go, he does. He pulls to the line, but he sits with a 10-0 deficit on his shoulders right now. Front bumper off the car. They've had issues leading up to this event with this car. Now, can it put in a run? We know that Simmons has got 10 points in the bag. He's got the first half of the battle under his belt. But anything, and I mean anything, can happen.
Yeah, we say it every time. We make our little predictions, don't we? And then we're completely wrong. So let's let the action speak for itself.
Yeah, let's let the action speak for itself. We're waiting for our judges to be ready. I'll give the thumbs up to Toby and the front end of that Nissan Skyline. Battered and bruised, but nevertheless ready for more action as they come off the line. It will be Simmons to lead, Perry to give chase, and this is the final run of our top 24 as they come screaming through the gears. You can hear that little V8 BMW Z4 singing as Simmons squeezes the accelerator. Perry on the inside of the circuit. He says he has nothing to lose. He's just going to have to try and dive up into the door and force Simmons into a mistake. But Simmons seems to have the pace in that little BMW as he comes flying into outside zone 7. Perry now with him. Perry starts reining him in. Can he get up onto the side as flames pop from the bonnet of that front exit exhaust? And Perry right with him. Look at the size of that car compared to that Z4 as they cross the line.
Amazing run from both drivers there. Perry getting a bit too excited and he's just spun off to the line as well. Great run from Perry. He brought everything he had there, and he was really putting the pressure on Simmons towards clip 9 and 10. But unfortunately, Simmons has already got the advantage from the first run. It might not be enough to pull that back.
I don't think there's anything that Perry could have really have done. He would have just hoped that Simmons spun or went 4 wheels off track, and unfortunately that didn't happen. As you can see, both these guys pulling up decisions in, left for Perry, right for Simmons. And there we go, unanimous. Adam Simmons gets the win and advances through to the top 16, and that completes our top 24. And there we go on the screen, ladies and gentlemen, the battle tree is up. There we go, first battle of our top 16 will be Wonnacott to take on Saville, will be Manilga to take on Bolton, Vasquez to take on Silcott, Egan to take on Stefanov, Edwards to take on Simmons, Walker to take on Lawrence, Evans to take on Neeson, and King to take on Keppert. If he can get that car fixed, I can see the recovery truck in the distance taking Keppert's car off. And well, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are in attendance, we are now going to bring out our top 16 drivers for you. We're going to bring them all down in front. We're going to let them maybe do a little burnout. But we want your appreciation. We want you guys to show your appreciation for our top 16 drivers.
Absolutely. We want as much noise from the crowd as possible. These drivers put everything into this just for your entertainment. So when you see the drivers come past, give them a good cheer, give them a good... I heard an air horn earlier on. Can we get that back going again?
Didn't hear a hair. There's no air.
See, I told you there was.
There's no air horns. I didn't hear it. See, told you.
It's gone again. I must have heard it in my head.
Yeah, it's just you. So as our judges make a dash across the track for a quick toilet break, we're going to get these guys queued up and ready to rock and roll. And I don't think standing there making that noise is going to be enough, Sarah.
No, I
don't think that's going to be enough. Do you know what I want to see?
We need to step this up.
I think we have to step this up. Do you know what I want to see? I want to see all you guys here in attendance make your way down to the edge of the fence. So if there's room, even if there's not room, stand 4 or 5 deep. I want to see everyone make their way down to the fence, and I want to see you guys cheering, waving and shouting for your favourite drivers. We want these guys to know that you appreciate them putting on this show, because they put on a show for you, and these guys really go out there on a limb.
Absolutely do. And the more noise the crowd makes, the more the drivers can hear you, the more they're going to do. The more they're going to do a burnout. They're going to ruin tyres just for a burnout for you guys.
Well, hopefully they don't break their cars.
No, we just want tyres burned. That's
just tyres burnt. So we can see there from our drone footage our top 16 drivers getting ready to rock and roll. And these guys, like I say, battling hard, some serious battles. So there we go, these guys queued up, and we're going to go down to our man on the ground, Matt House. He's down with Ricky Lawrence.
So yeah, Ricky Lawrence third in the championship at the moment, all to play for, and problems with the car again, but Willie Hanna lending you his car, it's incredible.
Yeah, it's been a year of issues really, little bits and pieces. Today it was the prop shaft, unfortunately. We've done our best to try and find a spare, but in a grid like this, the builds are also custom. Trying to find a matching prop shaft here is near impossible. But yeah, William Hanna stepped in, really good of him actually. Can't imagine how he's feeling at the moment knowing how I drive in the battles. He jumped in and lent us a car, so we managed to get through qualifying. We'll see what we can produce in the battles.
I mean, you've just taken to this car like it's your own. As I was having a chat to you earlier and watching you out in your qualifying runs, and it was as if it was your own car. It's just unbelievable how well you've taken to this.
Yeah, the first qualifying run, obviously we took it easy, not knowing what to expect. Went into the first corner really kind of slow, and it obviously reflected in the score, but by the end of the run got a good feel for how it was, and to be fair, it didn't feel that much different to my own car. So by the second qualifying run we managed to throw it in harder, and again obviously gained more experience in that run, which led to a good battle there with Hayden Cruikshank. Yeah, no, it goes well.
Because it's obviously a slightly longer wheelbase, so does that feel a lot nicer to drive compared to yours, or...?
You certainly feel it after clip 3 to 4. You certainly feel it. It flows around a lot better. But other than that, I don't really notice it, to be fair. Yeah.
Because obviously, I would have thought your shorter wheelbase would be a lot snappier transitions, which obviously we see you quite sharp on your transitions. So again, is that taking you a little bit more work, or are you just being sort of cautious of it?
No, it just flows really quite well. Obviously, like you say, the longer wheelbase, the slower the back end will come round, the more time you've got to catch it. But yeah, it just works.
Awesome. Well, we're looking forward to seeing you out in the battles, and let's go and see if we can find any more drivers.
So there we go, Matt's on his hunt for some more drivers. You can see those guys gridding up down there ready to come round for our top 16 parade. And yeah, look, Ricky Lawrence needed that. He needed to get into the top 16, knowing that Wonnacott was already in there, knowing that Vaskelis was already in there. You know, those two guys qualifying first and fourth, they're still keeping that championship hope alive.
Is that okay with time?
We're going to hand it back down to Matt. No, Matt's just having a chat to himself on the microphone there, so we're going to come back to us.
He does that a lot.
Does it a lot, yeah. I caught him earlier, walking around the track, just talking to himself. I said, "You all right?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm fine, yeah." And I was like, "Okay."
Is he self-employed? Was he having a staff meeting?
He was having a staff meeting.
Yeah,
he was having a staff meeting. Do you do that?
Yeah. I think he is looking for someone to chat to. We'll see who we can find.
Yeah, so we're going to hand back down to Matt. He's got someone to have a chat with.
In the top 16. See you later.
Oh no. No, yeah, Matt was going to have a chat with Adam Simmons, but Adam Simmons said, "No, I've got to go. I've got to put on a show for the crowd." So there you go.
Fair enough. Priorities. Fair enough.
He's got his priorities right. That's for sure. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to bring out our top 16, and as you can see at the back there, no Leonard Keppert. So, Leonard Keppert desperately trying to fix that car in the paddock. He would have his team with him. And as I mentioned earlier on, ladies and gentlemen, I want you guys here in attendance. I want you to stand up on your feet, and I want you to make some noise for our top 16 drivers as they come past, because these guys putting it all on the line right now. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, first battle of the day, Sarah. Well, it's going to be a big one, and you know what? Hugh Saville got a bit of luck there in that first battle of his in top 24 against Smokey Smith, got himself in there, but now he's got to go up a very good contender. He's got to go up against Martin Wonnacott, and Wonnacott, well, he'll want the win. He needs the win to keep the championship alive. Wonnacott needs to get himself inside that Grade 8 and you know, a shot at a podium. So ladies and gentlemen, as they come through, I can't stress this enough, make some noise for your top 16 drivers. So there we go, yeah, first battle, as we said, Sarah, you know, Hugh Saville, he's going to be saying, well, if I can take down Wonnacott, first place qualifying championship leader, this could go anywhere for me this weekend.
It absolutely could, and he certainly has the potential to do so. He's a fantastic driver, but Martin Wonnacott is on fire at the minute. Can he actually take him down? We will have to see.
Yeah, we're going to have to see. Yeah, you can see those rolling past our camera on the circuit there, and our lovely BDC ladies having a little jive down there, a little dance.
Yeah, the DJ's back on, and the music's going.
Yeah, they're enjoying themselves. Up next, the next battle will be my boy from Essex, Ollie Bolton, to take on Igis Menelga. This one's going to be a tough one. Two guys that are going to be battling hard. Menelga didn't get on the podium yesterday, finished 4th place in the Pro-Am competition. You can see Bolton there in that Funk Motorsport S13 coming through. He's going to be pushing hard. He was looking good in practice. But can he prove it? Can he get into the Grade 8? Up next, well, another guy who's looking for a championship. It will be Vaskelis. Vaskelis to take on Silcock. And Silcock would love nothing more than to take out Aramis Vaskelis. Dave Egan rolls through the block on his own. He will be taking on Stefan Stefanov. Yeah, Stefanov jumping on the back of the cube very, very late there. It will be Louis Edwards to take on Adam Simmons. Up next, it will be Matt Walker to take on Ricky Lawrence. Oliver Evans to take on Robin Neeson. That one's one to watch, because let me tell you something right now. Oliver Evans, when he goes to battle an Irishman, it always ends in tears and panels getting spilt, so that one could go either way. And there we go, you have Josh King, he'll be taking on Leonard Keppert, and Stefanov just joining on the back there. And well, I mean, I thought Leonard Keppert was going to be on the back of the recovery truck there for a moment. But,
I thought he was going to do the parade on the back of the recovery truck. That would have been.
But you know what? If he couldn't make competition, that would be quite comical for him to do, just to get himself out there. But
brilliant. But at least he's in the pits getting his car sorted, hopefully for some more competition. But yeah, we've got 2 of our Pro-Ams from yesterday.
So yeah, 2 Pro-Ams. 2 Pro-Ams in the top 16. They both qualified high enough to not even have to battle in top 24. They made it into the top 16 straight away. So just goes to show you that extra bit of seat time for those guys really working. And as we look down on the monitor, we can see Wonnacott pulled up there to our grid there, ready to go. He's eager. He's hungry.
He is.
And as we keep saying, this is for the championship, this battle.
Absolutely. It's all going to come down to this. I mean, Wonnacott, though, he's come out... He's been great all year, but he's just, whatever it is, he's polished it. He's sorted it. He's done it. He's flying.
Well, we haven't seen him battle yet.
Well, I know, but I'm confident for him.
And look,
if
the car's not 100%.
Anything to go by, I'm confident.
You're confident, but the car's not 100%. The car is not, 110%. And he said that in the video. He said, look, we've had a few problems. Well, here we go. Graphics up on the screen. First battle of our top 16 are ready to kick it off. It will be Martin Wonnacott to take on Hugh Saville. I haven't heard any noise from anyone in the last 25 minutes at least. Have you, Sarah? Have you heard any noise? Has everyone fell asleep? Or are we good to go? We can see our ladies just making their way off the track. Wigan, you still with us? You're still there. You're still kind of there, just a little bit, maybe half of you. Some of you fell asleep, some of you are still with us. I don't blame you.
I think they need a chocolate bar. Like, G yourselves up again. It's that afternoon slump. Get yourself a chocolate bar.
There was chocolate buttons
That's
getting
what we're doing.
out.
Yeah, we're going for it. We're keeping away with sugar.
So as you can see, both those guys pulled up ready to rock and roll, and they now move to the burnout box to warm up their tyres. And Wonnacott will be sitting here thinking, let's just get this out of the way. Let's just get into the Grade 8, the first battle for him of the day. If he can make it into the Grade 8, he'll get into that flow, he'll get the vibe. He's got some fans here. Where's the Martin Wonnacott fans at? Where's our huge Saville fans at? Oh, there's a few of them. They've got the air horn.
I told you there was an air horn.
Got the air horn.
I think I'm making it up.
The Welsh contingency have got the air horn down there. I'll get you. Now I know. Well, there we go. On the line, they are ready to rock and roll. This is a nervous wait for Martin Wonnacott right now. Look. for me, Hugh Savile's already done a battle, so he's comfortable. You know, he's got the first nerves out the way. He feels a little bit more chilled out, and he says, I know I can trust Wonnacott in that lead position. He qualified first. He's got the perfect lead line. But he's going to be fast. He's going to be on it. There's going to be nothing to hold back. You're going to have to just dive 100%. You have to be on the door of Wannacott's car, and that's not an easy task.
It's not. It's absolutely not. Wannacott's just on fire this weekend, and it's a lot of pressure for Savile to be sat on the line next to him, worrying about what's going to happen. But like you said, he's had a battle already, so will that give him the confidence?
Will it give him the little bit of competitive edge? Will it give him that little bit of competitive edge?
It might well do.
Well, we get the thumbs up, and we are ready to go send the first battle of our top 16. Wonnacott to lead out Savile. And we're just having a word with Martin Wonnacott. Hopefully everything's all right. Yeah, it looks like everything's all right. I panicked then for a minute. Panicked for a little bit. Panicked, yep.
Relax.
Yep. So there we go. They are off the line and ready to rock and roll. Wonnacott to lead Savile to give chase. As they come past that pace cone denoted by those yellow speed racing flags, they come through, smashing the gears, and Wonnacott, big flick initiation on the handbrake though for quite a long time as Wonnacott dabs the foot brake into outside zone 2. Hugh Savile shortcutting the circuit ever so slightly to try and gain that proximity, and now this is where the pace and the speed of Wannacott's car comes into effect as he flies down that highway tail, just about balances that car on circuit. Hugh Savile getting absolutely lost from Martin Wonnacott right now as Martin Wonnacott puts the hammer down and drives across the line and leaves Hugh Savile in a cloud of smoke.
A strong run from Wonnacott, which is exactly what we expected and hoped to see. I don't think Hugh Savile could just keep up with him, unfortunately.
That just came down to a pure battle of grip and pace, and Martin Wannacott's car is incredibly fast. Incredibly fast. So these guys make their way back through, and you can see the next couple of battles they're lining up ready to rock and roll. We give the thumbs up to go for the second half of the run. It will be now Savile to lead and Wonnacott to give chase. And I tell you what, Martin Wannacott's not going to mess around. He's going to want to practice and get this dialed, get this chase down to a T on this track, and we haven't seen him come into effect yet. Is he going to stick the wheel on the door of that little GT86, AE86, sorry? Well, we are about to find out as they come through the gears and down the hill. As Savile in the middle of the circuit fires it in on the handbrake. Martin Wonnacott gives him a little bit of room to manoeuvre. Looked like he was going to go wide then Savile as he gets nice and deep into outside zone 3. Wonnacott right with him. Stalls that car up though as they transition into outside zone 4. Through and down as they makes a big dive into outside zone 7, and Wonnacott makes a huge dive. Little wobble though through the tyre smoke as he once again makes a dive in outside zone 8. Wonnacott dabbing that foot brake, trying to keep that car balanced on the side of the AE86 as they push wide and through outside zone 10. Incredible stuff from Martin Wonnacott.
Absolutely an epic run from both drivers. But I mean, Hugh Savile there not really making any serious errors, but Martin Wonnacott, he's doing exactly what we thought he would do. He's just bringing the fight 110%.
Well, he pushed very, very hard. There was a few little wobbles from Wonnacott, but I think the proximity is going to come down to that one. And I think the fact that Wonnacott was able to push up onto the side of the AE86, that is going to seal the deal. But listen, I'm not a judge. I'm just assuming that's the situation. I'm just guessing that's what's going to go down. We're going to pull these guys down in front of you out on the circuit. When these guys come down to you and to get their decision, I want everybody to make some noise. They're going to get out of the car and greet you guys and give you a wave. As our marshal down there, Jason Slade, gives him a round of applause. And here we go, decisions in, slide them left for Wonnacott, right for Savile. And there we go, Martin Wonnacott gets the win! Martin Wonnacott gets the win. Judges, we throw it back to you.
What an amazing lead run Martin Wonnacott just put in then. Perfect all the way around. And Hugh Savile just had no answer. He had no fight. He couldn't catch the quicker car. No proximity. So we had obviously advantage Martin on that one. And then on the second run, Martin had much better proximity and was all over him.
Well, there we go. These guys are going to destroy the rest of the tyres on that car and make their way around as we can see the next battle lining up ready to go, and it will be Sarah.
We have Aegis Manelga, who is our Pro-Am from yesterday, and he's now in the top 16 in the pros against your man Ollie Bolton.
Well, there we go. I'm getting looked at. I'm getting looked at with a thumb up in the air saying, can we go? Well, yes, we can go, Toby. Let's send them off the line. It will be Manelga to lead out Bolton for a spot in the Grade 8, and Bolton still in it for the championship, 7th place at the moment. He would love nothing more than to go to Buxton with just a couple of points in it. He's onto the back bumper of that 300 ZX, and he knows he can't let him get away. Minelga has got this line dialed as he gets nice and deep into outside zone 2. Look at Bolton though on that transition through the smoke. He goes up onto the side, that Funk Motorsport S13, as he gives Minelga some room to manoeuvre through the middle of the circuit. Now this is where Bolton's going to make a big dive as he comes in very hot. Bolton absolutely fulfilling that qualifying line, and onto the door he goes as he now stands on the throttle and starts to push the Pro-Am. Igis Minelga across the finish line. Wow! Pro-Am and pro drivers going at it.
I'm not sure you can say he's a Pro-Am, to be honest. I mean, that was absolutely amazing driving from Minelga. He really brought it there as hard as he could, but Oliver Bolton was just all over the back of him.
Well, that chase was very, very good. He made a little mistake as they come into outside zone 10. Bolton found himself on the inside of the circuit. Look, he'll be rewarded for the proximity, but he needs to be careful now. This lead run needs to be 110%, otherwise Minelga's going to stick it to the door and overturn this one. They pull back up to the start line, and it will be Bolton to lead and Minelga to give chase. And this is Minelga, is his opportunity now to prove himself as a pro driver and not a Pro-Am anymore. Can he do it against the best in the business right now? They come off the line. Bolton smashing through the gears, that sequential gearbox absolutely screaming as he bears a big flick across the track, and Bolton fires into outside zone 1 with a nice initiation, dab on the foot brake, so consistent, been doing that all day as he gets into outside zone 2. Minelga right with him though. Minelga not fussed whatsoever that Bolton's a pro. He says let's have a piece of the action right now, buddy, as they fire down into outside zone 7, and Minelga repays the favour with a dive as he almost makes contact as they transition into outside zone 8. Minelga right with Bolton. Bolton doing everything he can to try and elude Igis Minelga right now, but Minelga with him as they cross the line.
And that is exactly why Minelga's got his place today, to try and battle through the Pro Championship. That is exactly why. That drive was amazing. I mean, he brought it as hard as he could there, chasing down Oliver Bolton. That's pretty close in my eyes.
It's very, very close. You know what, I wouldn't want to judge that. I know Bolton made a couple of mistakes. Was Minelga's lead as clean as what Bolton's was? And that's what it's going to come down to. Lead to lead, chase to chase. Who made lesser mistakes? And we know Bolton, he had a little mess up on outside zone 10. And Minelga, just, I guess, not as clean maybe in some parts, but who knows? Who knows what way the judges are going to hear this? Ladies and gentlemen, give them a round of applause as they pull up there to receive their decision. Decision is in. Slide them left for Minelga, right for Bolton. 1 vote. Oh, Bolton gets the win! Ollie Bolton gets the win and advances through. And judges, we send it back to you.
Yeah, that was a nice close battle there. Egis, decent lead run. Unfortunately, shallowed off his angle between clip 9 and 10 there. Bolton maintained good proximity and stayed on the line as well. Didn't deviate too much off of it. It was nice, clean chasing there from Bolton. When they switched it round, Oliver's lead run, nice and on point, really strong lead. Egis maintained reasonable proximity, but started to drop away that proximity from 8 to 10 again, shallowing off his angle, so that's where he dropped his advantages there. Oliver Bolton taking a 6-4 across both runs.
So there we go, Bolton getting the win, advancing through to the Grade 8. And let me tell you something right now, it's going to be Martin Wonnacott to take on Oliver Bolton for a place in the final 4. And do you know what? That one is going to be a get your phones out moment, because they are going to be door to door. They're driving to, their line driving is incredible this weekend. We move it along to the next battle, Sarah.
Yes, this is going to be a very, very important one for the championship standings. We've got Aramis Vaskelis versus Oliver Silcock. Now, this is going to be definitely one to watch.
It certainly is going to be one to watch. Look, we know Vaskelis has got it in him, but he makes mistakes. He hasn't had the cleanest run today. Wannacott's in the Grade 8. Bolton sitting 7th in the championship. He's in the Grade 8. Vaskelis right now, he's sitting 2nd in the championship. If he doesn't progress through to the Grade 8, his championship dream starts to dwindle like a burnt out candle. We give the thumbs up to our start line marshal, Toby. What has he got? You can see the hands in the air from Melks. They are good to go. It will be Silcock to chase down Vaskelis for a spot in the Grade 8 right now. And here we go. They come round the pace cone slow from Vaskelis though, as Silcock has to back down and now fires it in as Vaskelis starts to unleash 1,000 horsepower to the tarmac here in Wigan, as Vaskelis looks for this perfect qualifying line. Oh, and you can see Ollie Silcock there caught in the smoke on the inside of the track. Vaskelis fires that car wide into outside zone 7, stands on the throttle once again. Oh, and caught up in the smoke is Ollie Silcock as he shallows up the angle to try and gain some proximity, but Aramis Vaskelis puts foot to floor and drives away.
Very strong from Vaskelis there. I think Oliver Silcock was bringing it as best he could, but like you said, Ian, he definitely got lost in the smoke coming into clip 9 there. I think that was very, very, very challenging for him to keep up. But then Aramis, he's got a lot of horsepower in that car. It's a lot to keep up with.
It certainly is, yeah. He's got 1,000 horsepower on the bottom of that car, and he's got a really serious setup. It's going to be hard to chase, but now we know, as I mentioned before, Vaskelis has made quite a lot of mistakes. We call him the Lithuanian lunatic because he's not scared to put that car on the line or on the door for that fact. As you can see, the smoke still coming out of the inside of Vaskelis' car. He now has to balance that car perfectly behind Silcock's car. And I'm not saying Silcock's car's slow by any means, but he's not as fast. He hasn't got as much pace. We know that. We've just seen that in that chase position. They put up to the line, the door opens, still smoke pouring from the inside of Vaskelis' car. As the door slams shut, the hands go up in the air, and they are ready to go. And they are off the line. It will be Silcock to lead, Vaskelis to give chase right now, and Vaskelis needs this. He needs that spot in the top 16, as you can see him onto the back bumper he goes as they fire down into outside zone 1. Oh, Vaskelis has to handbrake to avoid contact, sacrifices the line. He finds himself caught up in the inside of the circuit, now dives back onto the door as Ollie Silcock does nothing wrong, puts that car on that qualifying line. Look at Vaskelis on the back bumper. He's going to make a big dive into outside zone 7. Can he hold on to it? Oh, he has to back out of it ever so slightly as Silcock gets back on that qualifying line. But look at Vaskelis wheel to wheel, door to door as he pushes Ollie Silcock across the finish line. Wigan makes some noise.
Oliver Silcock's there, not really making any errors. I mean, Vaskelis, like you said, I think there's a couple of errors in his run, but at the same time, the commitment, I think he almost must have made contact. I am, yeah. I mean, I don't even know how do you know, that's it, done.
Incredible, incredible stuff there. That chase from Aramis Vaskelis. Look at this, absolutely
how did he not make contact
insane. Insane. So close, and such good car control from both those guys as they make their way back down to receive their decision. Incredible stuff there, and I think that the aggression from Vaskelis might just turn it, but the precision, the technical driving from Silcock for me was so good.
Absolutely, I have no idea which way this is going to go.
Well, we're about to find out. The decision's in. Left for Vaskelis, right for Silcock. Is the championship still alive? 1 vote, 2 votes. Is it Vaskelis gets the win? Vaskelis gets the win, and the championship dream still alive as he heads through to the Great 8 judges. If that is anything to go by, the final is going to be electric.
I totally agree. What a really aggressive chase run from Aramis. Amazing to see that amount of proximity. Ollie didn't put much wrong, but he just obviously didn't have the proximity as he did in the chase run, and it was quite obvious that Aramis, as a lead driver and as a chase driver, just brought the fight, and obviously that 1,000 horsepower shows.
There we go, yeah, 1,000 horsepower, all the grip in the world, pushing up into the door. Who is next, Sarah? This is getting hot.
It certainly is, Ian. We've got David Egan and Stefan Stefanov. Now, Stefanov's been flying this year. Egan, he's a very, very calculated driver. Again, can't wait to see what's going to happen. I can't predict it.
Well, look, for me, Egan, I don't know if he looks unlucky. He's on the ropes a little bit here. He did qualify well. We qualified in 5th place, and he kept, showboating that to me earlier on. He was saying, yeah, you told me I wasn't even going to get anywhere, and I qualified 5th. Well, we'll see how it is. He's in a left-hand drive Ford Mustang, previously piloted by Vaughan Gittin Jr. Well, is that skill oozed into the seat, or has Egan eluded it as he fires that car down into outside zone 1? Stefanov's car right side by side. A little hiccup there from Stefanov as they come down the hill. Oh, wow! Stefanov puts that car onto the back bumper of that Ford Mustang as they come down the highway to hell. Stefanov still with Egan. Not a foot wrong from Dave Egan at the moment as he sticks to that qualifying line. Stefanov, though, now starts to force the error as he makes a big dive up into the door, but has to make a correction as they both get back into it again, and Egan stays foot to the floor as they bring it through outside zone 10 and across the line. And Stefanov all over the place, Sarah. Something's up with that car.
Yeah, it doesn't look quite right, does it? I mean, he's brought it as hard as he could there, and the commitment was great from Stefanov. He was making some really great dives, especially coming into clip 9. But like you said, there was a wobble because he had to he was coming in a little bit too hot and he had to rein it in slightly. I guess that's going to knock his score down a bit.
It certainly is, yeah. There was a few big wobbles there. On outside zone 10, he actually, across the finish line, he dived onto the inside of the circuit. So Judge will be looking at that one, and he didn't make it out to grid at the right time either. So they've been working on that car in the paddock before they come out for this top 16 battle. They're on the line, ready to go. That'll be Stefanov to lead and Egan to give chase. Can Egan keep this weekend alive? Or will he be out in top 16 right now? They come through the gears, and Stefanov just hoping that car can hold together for one more run as he fires in. Nice fast initiation from Stefanov, and no answer from Egan at the moment. He's on the inside of the track. He's shortcutting that line to gain that proximity, and you can see Egan way on the inside there as he flicks that car up and stands on the throttle. But Stefan Stefanov absolutely flying at the moment as he pins that car to that wide line, and Egan on the lock stops, almost over rotating as he pops a wheel up onto the curb, sacrificing the line, and again Egan off the edge of the circuit as Stefanov takes it across the line.
Stefanov a lot stronger in the lead, not worrying about who's behind him or what's going on with Egan. Egan was really trying to bring it there, but he just didn't have the proximity, and I think he's sacrificed too many lines really.
Yeah, he made a whole host of errors. We can see here on a replay. Judge didn't want to see a replay of this one. As you can see, Stefanov firing that car in, very committed as he gets into outside zone 2. Watch Egan sacrificing that qualifying line, and you can see here again, once again, look, puts big angle on, has to dial it out, stands on the throttle, makes a big mistake, gets through the middle here. Now look, Stefanov absolutely flying on a perfect wide line. Egan almost over rotates, gets himself caught up on the middle of the circuit, wheel up on the curb in there, and then this is where it goes wrong for Egan. 3 wheels off the edge of the track as Stefanov bumps it through the finish line, and Egan looking like a wounded deer right now, and Stefanov looking hungry. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. David Egan and Stefan Stefanov. Decisions in, left for Egan, right for Stefanov, and there we go. Stefan Stefanov gets the win and advances through to the top 16. Judges just scrappy by Egan there.
That's exactly it, Ian. As he chased, he had too many errors. Stefan had a really, really good lead run, and then as we've come round towards clip 9, it looks like Dave's actually dropped 2 wheels off track, so then it's a 10-0, so he's automatically taken giving the win to Stefanov.
So there we go. Stefan Stefanov advances through. Dave Egan finishes up the rest of the tyres on the back of that Sunoco Racefuel Mobil 1 Ford Mustang. Takes it back home to Ireland and to lick his wounds and say, I'll be back for Buxton, and let's see what you got then. We go back to the start line, Sarah.
Another really exciting battle just about to commence. We have Adam Simmons and Louis Edwards. Now Louis Edwards absolutely storming yesterday's battles, and he's in it. He's in the top 16. What can he do?
Well, listen, he qualified second place at the moment. He qualified second place here today, qualified first yesterday. It just goes to a statement to say this guy's line driving is absolutely perfect. Well, he's got the perfect line, and Simmons has got the perfect line to chase. Can Simmons go further in competition? Can he get himself a spot in the Grade 8 right now against Louis Edwards, as Louis Edwards comes flying down the hill? But look at this from Simmons. Simmons, you can see him balancing that car on a handbrake. The seasoned pro, he knows what to do as he's chasing down that slower car. They navigate their way through into the middle of the circuit now. Perfect line. You could just see that really good qualifying line from Louis Edwards as he comes absolutely screaming into Luna Bend right now with Adam Simmons hot on his tail now. Simmons starts to bring the fight as he puts that little BMW Z4 right onto the back bumper of that BMW and forces Edwards across the line.
Excellent effort from both drivers there. Simmons must be able to put quite a lot of trust in Louis Edwards because he knows that his line driving is fantastic, so he knows he's going to be a good car to chase.
Yeah, Louis Edwards, second place qualifier. He's going to be, not perfect, but almost perfect line to chase. And you can see that open the door fully for Adam Simmons there to put down a perfect chase, and Simmons would have took away a lot of points in that half of the battle. As we can see, Louis Edwards and Simmons making their way around there. Look at the speed they're coming there. Simmons almost backwards into outside zone 7, and then he has to shut it down. Always makes contact with the back end of that little BMW E36. As they finish up that run, we are almost ready to rock and roll. We give the thumbs up all round in the tower, and those guys back on the line. And that will be Simmons to lead, Louis Edwards to give chase. And here we go. Can Edwards replicate his success yesterday? Can he find himself in the Grade 8 and move forward to the Final 4? We're about to find out right now as Simmons fires that car down into outside zone 1, gets onto the accelerator nice and early. Louis Edwards, look at that, very cool, calm and collected, uses the momentum as that car as Simmons goes very wide there, kicks up some dust in the face of Louis Edwards. Edwards stays in it though as they come down into outside zone 7, and Edwards using all the pace as he makes a dive up to the side. You can see him on the foot brake, keeping that car perfectly balanced, trying to find the side, that little BMW Z4, but a little bit of pace in that BMW of Simmons as they come across the line.
Both drivers with their arms out the window waving to the crowd there, really, really happy with that run. That was a very good, clean battle between the pair of them.
Yeah, it was a tidy battle. Very nice lead there from Adam Simmons, and Edwards gave an incredible chase there, and I think it was right that it's just come down to a little bit of pace on that final turn, the final two outer zones, that Louis Edwards just didn't have that pace to push up and get nice and close onto the door. These guys are going to make their way around to receive their decision. The judges deliberating this one. I don't think this is clear cut, but this could potentially go one more time.
That was my
That was your
thought. I
first
didn't
thought?
dare say anything.
Oh, you could just throw it out there. I just say this is what I
I was
think.
just keeping that little gem to myself.
Keep in reserve. Well,
Yeah.
there we go, ladies and gentlemen, as they pull up there to receive their decision. It is in. Slide them left for Edwards, right for Simmons. Brad, Ben and Ryan. 1 vote for Simmons, 2 votes for Simmons. Simmons gets the win and advances through to the Great 8. And judges, a very clean battle. I could have watched that all day.
Yeah, that was beautiful to watch there. Both guys driving really on point. Only the slightest little differences between their runs that makes the decision there. Louis with a decent lead run. Adam bringing good proximity, maintaining that proximity throughout. Adam with a slightly better lead run than Louis, and Lou with just slightly less proximity. So it was literally slight differences. We had a 6-4 one way to Adam, and then a 5-5. So 1 point separating these two drivers.
Wow, just 1 point in. It just goes to show you how close they are and how hard it is for these judges to split the decision. And these guys pushing to 100%. And you know what? Shout out to Louis Edwards, because he put on a show this weekend. That guy's going to go far in UK drifting. Up next, Sarah, we have
Matt Walker and Ricky Lawrence in that borrowed car from Willie Hanna. Two very different machines.
Well, yeah, two very different machines, but a big stake on the line right now. Matt Walker sits on the line in that lead position to take on Ricky Lawrence, and Ricky Lawrence will be looking back at the rest of the grid saying Wonacott's in, Vaskelis is in, Bolton's in, Simmons is in. Any one of these guys can hunt down my championship if I don't take down the giant killer, aka Mr. 9 Lives, Matt Cat Walker. Can he do it right now as Matt Walker comes screaming down in that M3 powered little BMW E30? We don't call him the giant killer for no reason, as he comes flying into outside zone 3. But look at this from Ricky Lawrence, sacrificing that line to gain proximity, but he's right with him. He's within that 3 metre rule right now as they come through the middle of the circuit. Lawrence is going to make a big dive. Lawrence makes a huge dive. On the foot brake he goes as both guys transition into outside zone 8, and now Matt Walker starts to sacrifice the line to try and drive away, but there is no escaping Ricky Lawrence as he pushes him across the line.
Unbelievable run there from Ricky Lawrence. I mean, Matt Walker, once again, he didn't do anything massively wrong, but Ricky Lawrence absolutely bringing his A game, diving right down the door several times. I can't believe there wasn't contact. He was that close.
It just goes to show you the level of talent that Ricky Lawrence has got to get that car that close, at them speed, and not make any contact with Matt Walker. Both guys return back to the start line, and Ricky Lawrence will be on the radio to his spotter, probably Willie Hanna, saying, what do I do? What do I do right now?
And Willie Hanna's going to be going, just back off a bit, I've just had it wrapped.
You know what Willie Hanna will be saying? Just send it, buddy. We can fix that car another day. That's not a problem. Let's get this championship in the bag this weekend.
Certainly will.
They're on the line, ready to rock and roll. The judges just having a chat about the first half of that run, and we have got the thumbs up all round, ready to go. It will be Lawrence now to lead, Walker to give chase. And Ricky Lawrence, to him, must feel like he's got 1 foot in the Great 8 already. Well, can he continue? Can he stand in that Great 8 and gain more points for his championship? They come through the gears as Lawrence puts in a nice flick initiation and leaves Matt Walker sleeping ever so slightly, but he does sacrifice outside zone 2 there as they come nice and wide into 3. Now Walker regained a little bit of lost ground as they come through the centre of the circuit. Ricky Lawrence absolutely screaming fire in that car in very wide, and Walker over-rotates! Matt Walker over-rotates and stops drifting, has to re-initiate at outside zone, and Ricky Lawrence keeps the hammer down and drives across the line.
Ricky Lawrence there just showing that he is really, really hungry to keep in this championship. Matt Walker gave it as good as he could, but it just wasn't enough this time.
that Matt Walker was pushing 110%. The spot would have been saying to him on the radio, he was on your door. You're going to have to push everything you've got to keep with him to get, you know, a spot in that Grade 8. Otherwise, you're out of competition. And Matt Walker said, well, hell, this is where you make the dive, you know. This is what they said in briefing, making the dive. The best place to do it is out of outside zone 6 into 7, because that, you know, you use that momentum coming down that highway to hell. You fire that car in. And unfortunately for Matt Walker, he just couldn't keep a hold of it. Ricky Lawrence nevertheless held on to it and drove away. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, as they pull up in front of you there. And there we go, Ricky Lawrence out of the car. Goes over to shake the hand of Matt Walker. As the decision drops in, left for Walker, right for Lawrence. 1 vote for Lawrence. 2 votes, 3 votes for Ricky Lawrence. Ricky Lawrence gets the win and advances through to the Grade 8 and keeps that championship alive. No need to go to the judges. Spinning's not winning, Sarah.
Unfortunately, it's not. You're completely right there. Brilliant, brilliant drive from Ricky Lawrence. He wants this really badly.
Exactly. Look, he knows whatever Wonnacott and Vasquez do, he has to do.
Yeah.
So if they get into the Grade 8, he has to get into the Grade 8. If they get into the Final 4, he has to get into the Final 4. The biggest problem he's got is who are going to be the top 2 guys in first and second place to battle it out for the top step on the podium. Ricky Lawrence says, well, I want it, so does Vasquez and so does Wonnacott. But there's a whole host of other drivers in the mix saying, well, I also want the podium. Up next, we've got a big one.
This is Robin Neeson versus Oliver Evans. Now, you did say this is going to be one to watch. So this is going to be some epic battles right in front of you here at Three Sisters.
Well, yeah, look, there's a bit of a backstory here, and I'm guessing all of the Irish guys watching will say, yeah, Oliver Evans, he comes to Ireland, he causes nothing but a headache. You know, this guy, he crashes his car into our guys' cars, and that's not how it goes down. That's not cool. That's not cool. So they said, Robin Neeson, go to the UK and try and beat Oliver Evans. They said, just crash a car into him.
So this is potentially payback.
This is payback. And I'm just telling you now, Dwayne McKeever sent him. Dwayne McKeever said, you go over there, Neeson, and you show Oliver Evans how it's done. But the little Welshman said, no, I haven't had a podium in a very long time, and this is my time to shine. We're coming to the end of the championship, and I would love nothing more than to stand on the top step of the podium and completely mess up Wonnacott Vasquez' championship. Well, he's got to get through Robin Neeson at the moment. These guys pull to the line. 2 JZ-powered Nissan 200SXs sit there. 1 Welshman, 1 Irishman. Who is going to take it through to the Grade 8? Well, we're about to find out. They come off the line. That battered and bruised S13 of Robin Neeson will be chasing down Oliver Evans as they come through the gears. Evans looking absolutely dialed as he fires it in very, very wide. Can Evans hold on to it? He certainly can. That was an incredible line from Oliver Evans right there. Robin Neeson gets very deep into outside zone 3. Wheels up on the inside of the curve from Neeson. And Neeson makes a huge mistake. He's panicked, he's on the ropes right now. Can Robin Neeson pull himself together and jump back up onto the side of Oliver Evans' S14 as they come round the final 2 outside zones? Evans smashes the accelerator and goes across the line.
Evans doing exactly what you said he would do there, Ian, and Robin Neeson making a big mistake at the beginning. I don't think that's enough to sway it in his favour, because he didn't get the proximity back towards the end of the run. Unfortunately, he just couldn't make up the ground.
No, huge error there from Robin Neeson as he almost threw that runaway right there. I'm surprised he didn't over-rotate. He was 2 wheels on the inside of the circuit, and you know what, Judge would be looking at that one saying, well, listen, this is not a rallycross event, guys. This is not a rallycross event. This isn't global rallycross right now. This is the British Drift Championship. So you need to be on the track with all 4 wheels drifting sideways. And well, Oliver Evans, he did that, and he is looking strong right now. Well, this is where Evans normally he gets a little bit of a rush of blood to the head. He gets a little bit excited with himself, and he normally crashes into people. Want to see what he can do this time. Can he keep it cool, calm, and collected? His spotter will be on the radio saying, just rein it in at least 2%. If you can do 2%, that'll just be enough. We know Neeson's fast. We know he's got the pace in the car. You don't have to be all over him. You don't have to push him. You don't have to put yourself into a danger spot. Well, they're going to find out right now what that danger spot is going to be as they fire into outside zone 1. And look at Oliver Evans. He's with Robin Neeson right now as they fire into outside zone 2 and 3. And look at the transition from Oliver Evans as he pushes Robin Neeson back across the track. And now this is where Evans is going to make another big dive. Dirt flicked up into the air. As Neeson drops wheels now, Evans backs out of it, says it's all good, we're good to go, stands on the accelerator and tries to find the side of 180SX as they come across the line. Make some noise, Wigan.
true pro driving from both competitors there, but Oliver Evans, I mean, he literally pushed him round at one stage. I think he was that close behind him.
He pushed him. I'm telling you now, he physically pushed. He held Robin Neeson on track there.
Quite unbelievable. It definitely rattled Neeson, because you could see as he came at the bottom of the highway to hell there, he was wheels off the track, there was dirt going everywhere, and I think that kind of threw him a little bit. He wasn't expecting Evans to quite get that close.
Look at Evans, look at Evans, look at Evans, look at Evans. He loves a mind game, does this young man. Look at him side by side. I love Oliver Evans. He's such a character. This guy always brings drama, always brings the fight. And, you know, that little push on the back end there of Robin Neeson's car was just to say, I'm still here, you're not that fast. I am the faster guy around this track. Ladies and gentlemen, give them a round of applause as they get out of the cars. Maybe to have a fist fight, hopefully not. Hopefully they're going to keep it cool. And Oliver Evans out of the car. Decisions in, slide them left for Evans, right for Neeson. 1 vote for Evans, 2 votes for Evans. Evans gets the win. Advances through. That was some serious aggression, judges, from Oliver Evans.
Yeah, what an amazing chase run, but he had the better lead run as well. There was some errors as well by Robin Neeson. He had a big mistake at 4 on a wheel off track. He cut the at 7 to 8 to try and gain, but didn't. We had the advantage, Oliver Evans. And then on the reverse, Oliver Evans' proximity was all over the back of Robin Neeson, and Neeson dropping a wheel at 7, so the win goes to Oliver Evans.
So there we go, Oliver Evans gets the win, advances through to the Great 8. Another guy in the championship, fighting for that championship as well. He's still in the points, he's still in the top 10. And we move it along to the final battle of our top 16. It will be Josh King, our Pro-Am driver, to take on Leonard Kepper. We take a look down the start line though, Sarah, and I can only see one car.
I can only see one car. I'm a bit concerned now.
Right, so I'm just going to take a quick look across to my man in the tower, Toby, and get a quick word. Oh, wow, ladies and gentlemen, I can confirm that Leonard Kepper has had to retire from competition. So Leonard Kepper retires from competition, damage to that car, he can't get it fixed in time. That means Josh King, ladies and gentlemen, gets a bye run and advances through to the Great 8. What a weekend this guy's having.
Unbelievable. And I'm pretty sure I heard him say, I don't know if I'm going to bother today. Now...
He says that all the time.
What's that?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as Josh King comes past you, I want you to make some noise, because this guy, a Pro-Am driver, he is absolutely flying this weekend. He shuts it down. I hope he hasn't broken the car. I hope he hasn't just broken the car. Make some noise, ladies and gentlemen, as Josh King gets the win, advances through to the Great 8, and that is it. Our Great 8 is decided. And Josh King there, moving through and getting the win. So there we go. We are going to bring up the battle tree for you guys at home and in attendance to see exactly how this one lies. And well, the story doesn't get any easier for these guys. Up first, the first battle of our Great 8 for a place in the Final 4 will be Martin Wonnacott to take on Oliver Bolton. Up next, well, it'll be Aramis Vaskelis to take on Stefan Stefanov. Then, well, it'll be Lawrence to take on Simmons, and then Evans to take on King. Look, we've got some serious championship contenders still in the fight. Who knows what is going to happen? It does look like maybe we have some oil spill on the circuit, Sarah, so maybe a little clean-up operation. Is that why Josh King shut it down? We can see Robin Neeson's car in the distance from where we're sitting. Cheeky move, just having a little quick look out of the tower, and I can see Robin Neeson's car dumped onto the grass. So we are having a look now to see if there is oil spilt. And as you can see, these guys are at the edge of the burnout box, are ready to warm their tyres, and Wonnacott versus Bolton. This, well, I mean, look, I spoke about it earlier. Bolton sits 7th in the championship. Still technically in points. He could, if he beats Martin Wonnacott, he could claim them points, climb up the ladder and move himself into potentially 3rd or 4th place in the championship. So Bolton is going to push 100% here. But Martin Wonnacott knows he's leading the championship with Vaskelis breathing down his neck and a whole pack of other drivers that are hungry for this championship this year.
Absolutely. And Wonnacott, if he gets through to the Final 4, and Vaskelis does as well, there's potential that these guys are going to then meet, which is going to be a pretty epic set of battles.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, if Martin Wonnacott wins this battle, moves through to the Final 4, Vaskelis beats Stefanov and he moves through to the Final 4, they will face off for a spot in the final. So that means that one of those guys is going to go home with more points than the other, and it will be, you know, not decided there and then. But if Vaskelis beats Wonnacott, if Vaskelis beats Wonnacott for a spot in the first and second place playoff, that means he'll then leapfrog Wonnacott and take the points back in the championship. This championship up and down all year between Vaskelis and Wonnacott, and I tell you what, we're going to end up taking this one to Buxton for the final.
I think that's going to be the case. And then also we've got Ricky Lawrence is still in the running as well. If he makes it through to the final four,
stop it.
Honestly,
you're just putting too much in the mix now.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's like you're making a cocktail, Sarah, and you've got everything out the cupboard, and you're saying, well, a bit of gin, we'll have a bit of vodka. We'll put everything in it. We'll put everything in the mix.
Dangerous.
It's very dangerous, and someone's going to end up drunk.
Basically.
I'll tell you when we are going to end up
Buxton.
drunk.
Buxton,
exactly that. Yeah, look, I keep saying it. Get your tickets online now. Tickets on sale for the whole weekend. We are going at it Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
I don't know if I can deal with it.
Well, you're going to have to deal with it.
I did a glass of wine last night in the bar after this had
and
all
you was
finished,
drunk,
and I fell asleep.
And you was drunk, gone. We had to get someone to take you to bed. It was embarrassing. So yeah, our tickets on sale right now. We are heading to Buxton for the final round of the British Drift Championship. If you think this is up close and personal, you wait till we head to Buxton. You can stand 360 degrees all the way around the track, and you are literally feet away from these guys who are going to be screaming these pro cars around that concrete lined circuit. Look, Matt Stevenson said to me, I don't care about these guys' cars anymore. I'm sorry, I just don't care. He said, I'm just going to make them run the walls, smash these body panels off just for your entertainment. I said, I don't care. I've not got to repair it. It gives me something to talk about.
Well, that's pretty much it, isn't it?
That is it.
He's just going to go completely all out for the last round.
We certainly are. Yeah, we're going to go at it. Friday will be our Pro-Am Championship. Will be decided under the lights at Buxton, where the guys will crown our Pro-Am 2019 champion. Then we'll move on to Saturday, where we'll go under the lights once again, and we will crown our Pro 2019 champion under the lights at Buxton. And then Matt Stevenson, he said he threw his credit card on the table. He said, let's just spend all the money left in the bank account. We're going to put on a serious amount of pyrotechnics. We're going to put some serious fireworks on the go, and then that night we are going to have a seriously good party. We're going to have a party in the pits. You guys are more than welcome to join us. You can party with all the crew here. You can party with all the drivers and the teams. Come and meet all these guys and have a few drinks and enjoy some stories. And yeah, we're going to do it up Pasha. Former resident DJ at Pasha in London, the Generator White guy, he's going to be there.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Putting on a show. And then Sunday, non-live streamed. So that means that you guys, if you're sitting at home saying, well, I'll just sit at home and watch that, no chance. Sunday
you can't now.
Is a winner-takes-all situation.
Get yourselves down there. And didn't you tell me earlier on, anybody can drive on Sunday?
Anybody can drive.
So anyone
if you think you're
that's
good
not
enough,
a BDC driver, anybody?
Let me just clear that up, because there was a lot of confusion. There's people saying to me, you can only enter if you're a BDC driver. No. That's not the truth. If you have an up-to-spec car, so if you've got a car with a roll cage, a fire extinguisher, decent bucket seat and some harnesses and a battery cut-off, send yourself an email to the British Drift Championship, and then you can be driving at the winner-takes-all event on the Sunday. If you win that event, you get free entry to the 2020 British Drift Championship. Not only that, but you get 50 tyres to claim at every single round of the event. Not 50 every round, you get 10 tyres per round, five rounds. So you get those tyres to cover your championship. If you come second, well, you only get £1,500 to spend with Simpson safety products to keep you safe inside those cars. And if you come third, well, you take home a set of yellow speed coilovers for a vehicle of your choice. We're throwing everything at it, Sarah. We said we're going to throw everything at the final. We are throwing everything at the final, and it's non-live streamed on the Sunday. So don't sit indoors and moan and say, oh, I'm gutted I wasn't there. Oh, I'm gutted I didn't see it.
Get your tickets. Get down there.
Get yourself a long party in the paddock on Saturday night. Come and meet all the crew. Come and hang out on Sunday. And this commentary, well, this will just be personal to the track. It'll be a one-off. You won't hear it anywhere else.
That's it. I mean, that's it. What more do we need for a drift
so there
weekend?
We go. Well, that is it. Drifting, beer, sunshine would be nice, but
well, I don't even want to mention that bit, to be honest.
Well, I've just been given an update to say that it has started raining, and it is raining now on circuit ever so slightly. But we have I've been passed a note saying oil on track. Neeson popped the engine after the finish line. How about that? That engine blew up after the finish line, and he took it round and realised that guy's got to drive that car in just 5 days' time.
Wow,
in Ireland.
I hope it's an easy fix for him. I really do.
Well, I wouldn't want to be in his situation because now he's panicked. He's driving in the Drift Games Extreme Championship next weekend, and that's the final event of the year for him. So he now has to get that car together, hopefully, and get it repaired, ready to rock and roll. Look at that, Stefan Stevanov on the screen, looking confident. That car working, potentially. We're not sure. Who is he facing off against? He's going to face off against Vaskelis. So that one going to be a close one. Look at Vaskelis in the car, thumbs up, wave to the camera. He's very, very cool, calm and collected. So we're just going to wait to get the all clear from our track staff to make sure that we are ready to rock and roll. We're just going to make a small alteration to the line on the exit of the track, because it's not going to affect the race in line, but it's going to affect how these guys exit the circuit. So just going to make sure that that is safe, and then we can get the first battle of our Grade 8 warmed up and ready to rock and roll. Wigan, you having some fun? Sorry for the delay in action. It's not my fault, honestly. If I could do anything about it, I would just like send these cars and let these guys, have a little bit of ice skating at the end. But unfortunately, it's not my call. We have to keep these guys safe. These cars not cheap and not easy to repair. As we can see, our track marshals just doing a little bit of a track clean up there. So take this time to thank our sponsors, Sarah, because again, obviously, without these guys, none of that would be possible, and wouldn't be able to put on this championship. These guys, helping us out massively and bringing along some trade stands and everything else, and giving away products and making trophies and
helping the drivers as well.
Helping these drivers, yes. Steve from Hill Performance this weekend. All year this guy has said, I'm going to supply free lines and free brake lines and anything that these guys need, oil coolers, etc. I'm going to supply that to the drivers free all weekend. So if they have a problem, they go over to Steve. Steve can fix it. If he can't, well, then you're in a bit more trouble than what you first thought. But yeah, Steve's down there helping those guys out. Obviously the BDC merchandise tent as well. Sarah, the sponsors though, these guys.
The sponsors. Without them, we couldn't put on a meeting, and the drivers just would not get this championship to drive in. So thank you to Hell Performance, M-Tech Brakes, On It, Funk Motorsport, AM Details, Samco Sport, Yellow Speed Racing, Excite Energy, Simpson, OVP Motorsport, Corbo Seats, Tarmac Sports, Competition Clutch and Slide Motorsport. Thank you to all of our sponsors.
Yeah, so those guys helping us out massively throughout this 2019 championship, and partners carrying on into 2020. And as I mentioned earlier, yeah, the merchandise tent down there selling clothes. You can walk a little bit further along, you find the guys from Drift Games down there selling Drift Games merchandise and Hoonigan merchandise in that tent. And then opposite there you have the Wharton Motorsport tent. And those guys, selling all of the fabrication goodies from Vibrant Performance, some Turbo Smart products as well, Cosmos Racing Wheels, and obviously we've got Gala Performance. We had Gala Performance down there as well, sponsoring the championship, jumping on board at the last minute to help us out this year. And we are just waiting to get that oil cleaned up from Robin Neeson's car. As you can see, I can see they're going to unload it straight off the recovery truck, straight onto the trailer, and get ready to take it home. So I wonder what Matt House is up to, Sarah.
You must have found somebody to chat to.
Matt House, what are you doing down there, buddy? You got anyone to talk to?
Hello ladies and gentlemen, guys and girls, we have got some drivers down here, so we're going to take a little wander over, see if we can find, well, we've got a nice little collective of drivers here. We've got Adam Simmons, Oliver Bolton, Josh King, Ricky Lawrence, so I'm sure we should be able to grab one of them. So come on lads, which one of you wants to have a little chat? All right, there you go. Oliver tried to hide, so we're definitely going that way. Come on, Mr. Evans. You tried to hide, so you're not going to sneak away that easily. You can't hide behind him, yes you can. So young man, how's your day been going?
Good, yeah. Just waiting for the rain now so we can save a bit on tyres.
That's not the way to play the show.
No, well, yeah, we've been going well. Like, I've only used sort of one set of tyres then, just in that battle, so yeah, it's not too bad. And then I've got Josh King, who thinks he can keep up, but come on now, really.
Oh, so we got fighting talk here. Josh, you want to come in and have a little bit of retaliation here?
Well, I suppose if you think you can keep up, then I'll best drop them to 12.
Oh, so we got fighting talk here. So what PSI are you going to be running now for the next battle?
More than him, but it doesn't matter.
It's all about PSI here.
I'm on 20 PSI at the moment, so...
And them Velinos are working really well.
Yeah, they're good.
So, Battle of the Rubber here. So what tyres are you running this weekend?
Faster ones than Velinos.
Oh!
Yeah, well, what's going to happen now when my tyres beat the Velinos? So that's the issue, isn't it?
We got fighting talk here, guys. So back to the tower, and I'll see if I can get.
Who?
So I'll see if I can get anything else out of the other drivers.
Well, there we go. We've got some fighting talk on the go there, and we've got a few messages. Me and Sarah's phone's been plagued while we've got a little bit of downtime here, and shout out to Neil Bamford and his missus Leanne at home watching, Neil not making it out to as many rounds this year as we'd like to have seen. He's adulting, Sarah, he's adulting. We know how hard that is.
Yeah,
and,
we both do.
You got a shout out as well there
I've
to do?
got a little shout out, yeah.
I can see if we can have a chat with Stefan Stefanov.
Happy Drifter. He's dropped me a little message. He just wants to say a special thank you to the judges because they've got a really difficult job.
I certainly have.
We always say we don't envy it. So yeah, thank you to the judges for making the decisions you've made and being really fair, and yeah, brilliant, thank you.
Yeah, without the judges obviously we wouldn't have this championship, and people
we will tell Lee from Ryan that doesn't get him any extra points. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, there's no bribing the judges, unfortunately.
He's not driving today, it's fine.
I've had a message saying, Nathan, did I know that Nathan Black is it? And I'm like, Nathan Black is back? and people are saying, when is Nathan Black coming back? I mean, would you like to see Nathan Black in the BDC? I mean, Wigan, would you like to see Nathan Black back? Oh, there's a few boos and there's a few cheers. I mean, and he's Marmite. Do you like Marmite, Sarah?
I don't like Marmite, but I do like Nathan Black though. I do like Nathan Black though, I have to say.
There we go.
He's a fun guy.
We don't know. He's not a mushroom.
You know what I mean?
He's a human. Well, I mean, look, we'll have to see. We'll have to see, people, if Nathan Black can come back, and maybe he could be a guest appearance from him at Buxton. We're going to go. Matt Stevenson's got one more interview before we head to our Grade 8 first battle. Matt, who you got?
I've got Stefan Stefanov and going up against Vascalis. How are you feeling about the next battle?
Oh man, I feel myself very good. A lot of issues that weekend. I can't believe, really. Fuel pumps, fuel pressure going down. Intercooler is blown now. We put some flanges from the tent, take it out and put it on the cooler. So very excited. First time to be in top 8 on the BDC. So yeah, I feel myself very, very good.
And is it right that I've heard you've gone through 3 fuel pumps this weekend?
Probably 6. Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. Well, to still be out on the grid and fighting, good luck against Vascalis. Well done, thank you.
Wow, look at that, 6 fuel pumps. He's putting more fuel pumps in that car than he has tyres on the back of it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I can take a look down at the start line, and I've got the thumbs up. This one's going to be a good one. Both these guys have been pushing hard all morning from practice. On the line, Martin Wonnacott, your championship points leader, your first place qualifier, to take on Oliver Bolton right now. 700 horsepower versus 400 horsepower. What has Bolton got? Can he stick the fight to Wonnacott? This one is going to be one for the books right now as they come through the gears. Nothing to hold back. Look at Bolton right onto the back bumper. He gets left a little bit there as Wonnacott fires that car into outside zone 2. But Bolton now sacrifices a little bit of line to gain that proximity as he jumps up onto the side of Martin Wonnacott. Wonnacott, though, squeezes the throttle, starts to drive away from Bolton. Bolton's going to make a big dive into outside zone 7. Can he hold on to it? He can. But he can't match the pace of Martin Wonnacott right now as Wonnacott absolutely flying as he drives away from Oliver Bolton and puts it across the line.
Martin Wonnacott, as expected there, he has done. The theme for this weekend has been absolutely flawless. We're not worried about him. Bolton, epic drive from Bolton, but he just didn't have the pace. Although, what do you think? Did he stick to the line enough? I mean, I know he couldn't keep up at the end there due to the pace, but
this is going to
did he do enough?
This is going to go back to yesterday where we had a serious issue with proximity when proximity came into the fight, and I think that's going to be the tale of this battle because we know that Martin Wonnacott has got the pace, and I think this is just going to be a fact of Oliver Bolton getting ever so slightly outpaced and outcarred, and the experience of Martin Wonnacott. You know, Martin Wonnacott has been a long time in the game right now, driving for many, many years. He's going to use that experience to try and overturn Bolton right now. Bolton lead Martin Wonnacott for a spot in the final 4. Can Wonnacott keep the championship alive as Bolton now fires it in and starts to drive away from Wonnacott as Wonnacott gets left napping ever so slightly. Wonnacott jumps onto the back bumper of that S13 as Bolton fires deep into outside zone, but he gets a wheel up onto the curb. He makes a mistake there, does Oliver Bolton, as he's pressured into driving that car to 110% as Wonnacott gets onto the door and now makes another big jab at the side of Oliver Bolton, but he makes a huge error and has to stall the car up as Bolton jumps the curb. Wonnacott back in it as he gets on the door and across the line.
Got no words for that one, Ian. I'm on the edge of my seat now, waiting to see
I've put the
what's gonna
seat in the bin. I took the seat. I folded the seat up and I threw it out the edge of the tent and I put it in the bin because there is no need to sit down right now because these battles are too much to handle. These guys are going to make their way back around to the start line. It's just look at that. You can see Matt House is going to get a lift.
He's just jumped into Oliver Bolton's
Cheeky.
car.
It's like an Uber. That's an Uber. He just called an Uber and Ollie Bolton pulled up and he said, "Well, there we go."
Hellish Uber, that isn't it?
I don't say it's not a mild car, is it?
No, I mean, imagine if you called an Uber and that turned up. I'd love it.
So there we go. Yeah, these guys are going to make their way down, and look, incredible chase from Martin Wonnacott, but he did make a couple of errors. We see Bolton put that wheel up on the inside. I know that Bolton didn't have the proximity, but he didn't make the mistakes to gain the proximity. He kept to the qualifying line. Wonnacott made a few errors. So I'm not sure which way the judges are going to swing this. Ladies and gentlemen, as they pull up there, make some noise for Martin Wonnacott and Oliver Bolton.
And Matt House.
And Matt House catching that cheeky little Uber. Who is going to take it through to the final four? Decisions in. Slide them left for Wonnacott, right for Bolton. Brad, Ben and Ryan. 1 vote for Wonnacott, 2 votes for Wonnacott. Wonnacott gets the win and advances through. And gentlemen, not an easy one to decide.
No,
it looks like Matt House is actually
good to watch. Really good to watch there. So Wonnacott put in a good lead, a little bit shallow at 3 and 7. Other than that, nice fast lead. Bolton not bringing any proximity, because he stuck to that line, but not bringing the battle at all. When they switched it around, Bolton had a really good lead line from 1 to 3, but up on the curb, between 3 and 4, missing 4 altogether, and Wonnacott obviously bringing a bit more battle to the game there, a better chase. And he basically took the win from his lead line being so good and evening out in the second one.
So there we go. We're going to hand down to Matt Matz with Martin Wonnacott. Matt.
So everyone piling on the pressure for you this weekend, but championship's still in sight. How you feeling?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, feeling great now, and obviously, but I've noticed that all the top drivers are definitely still in there. So it's all to play for still. We just keep going the way we are.
And obviously you've been having temperamental problems over the weekend with the ECU, but have you got that dialed in and setting up right now?
Yeah, absolutely nothing wrong with the car as far as that. I did feel against Hugh earlier on, the steering go a bit light, but no, it's fine. It's probably just me.
And you're on new tyres this weekend, I hear?
Yeah, on new tyres. Never driven with these before. Took a little bit of getting used to. They're pretty grippy, but we're getting the hang of them now.
Awesome. Well, get back in that car, go shred some more rubber. We'll hopefully see you on that podium. Thank you very much.
So there we go, Wonnacott feeling confidence there as he heads into the final four, and then we move along to the next one.
Yeah, absolutely. So he should feel confident as well. So next up, we've got Aramis Vaskelis versus Stefanov. Stefanov's been very, very strong today. Otherwise, he wouldn't have made it to this position. And he's now got the opportunity to rock the championship even further by potentially knocking out Vaskelis. Can Vaskelis do what he needs to do?
Well, look, Vaskelis needs to move forward now, because that means he'll battle Wonnacott in the final four, and that will, ultimately decide the championship settlement, kind of, before we go to Buxton, because it's still going to be very, very close in points. But Stefanov's car, we heard him earlier, the intercooler's shot, it's blown up to bits. He's had to repair it in the paddock with pieces of his gazebo. He's put 6 fuel pumps in the car. He's had ECU problems. What else can go wrong for Stefan Stefanov right now? Aramis Vaskelis will just be hoping that car falls apart and doesn't even make a lap round the circuit. They're on the line, ready to go. It will be Vaskelis to lead and Stefanov to give chase. And here we go. Vaskelis, eager, hungry for the win, hungry to get Wonnacott before the final. They come through the gears and down the hill as they fire into outside zone 1. You can see Stefanov's car just grip up ever so slightly there as he now fires it in. Both guys very, very wide into outside zone 2, and then sacrifice 3 as they shortcut the circuit together. An absolute mirror image right now from Stefan Stefanov as he fires into outside zone 7, trying to stay with that 1,000 horsepower E46 BMW, and Stefanov shuts it down and has to drive through the middle of the track and then reinitiates, as Vaskelis no such issues as he puts the power down across the line.
It's such a shame for Stefan Stefanov there. He was given such a strong run and then he had to shut it down for some reason. Obviously that's going to be
a fuel pump.
Well, yes, it could possibly be. If you were going to guess, I'd put money on that.
Yeah, so we shouldn't laugh. We shouldn't laugh at that. That's someone else's misfortunes there.
No, it was just amusing.
But it was
that
funny.
He's had 6 on there this
Six-
weekend.
6 fuel pumps, yeah, that's incredible.
But that's it. I like his determination. He clearly doesn't give up.
No, he certainly doesn't give up. Look at this. This is where it all went wrong for Stefan Stefanov as he fires that car in, almost over-rotates. Look, you can see him. He gets lost in the smoke and has to shut it down, and he drives straight at that point of the track. You can see the smoke still coming from the inside of Aramis Vaskelis' E46. We get the thumbs up all round, and we're ready to go for the second run. It will be Vaskelis now to chase down Stefan Stefanov. The thumbs up. He is looking absolutely dialed. The Lithuanian lunatic sits in that car hoping he can make his way through to the final 4 right now. They come round the pace cones and down the hill. Stefanov's opportunity to lead. Can he throw anything into the mix from the lead position? As Stefanov gets into it, and you can see Vaskelis giving him some room. Big, fast transition there from Stefan Stefanov as Aramis Vaskelis stays with him through the centre of the circuit, and you can see Stefanov trying to use the pace in the car to elude Aramis Vaskelis right now. They fire into outside zone 8, and Vaskelis right with him. This is where he's going to make the dive up onto the door, and he certainly does as Vaskelis starts to trade paint with Stefan Stefanov across the line.
Absolutely outstanding drive from Vaskelis. He had his little hiccup last round. He's gone, nah, I'm not having that. That's not me. And we said he'd be back, and he's really, really bringing his A game now. He knows it counts. That was an unbelievable drive, and I think that's obviously going to swing in his favour due to that, and unfortunately Stefanov having to straighten up on the run before.
Yeah, I think the proximity, coming into that second half of the battle is going to be a big key, and the mistake from Stefan Stefanov is going to, maybe seal the deal. Look at this from.
Look how happy Stefanov with
Vaskelis absolutely pinned to the back end of that S13 of Stefan Stefanov's as they pull up to receive their decision from our judges. So make some noise, ladies and gentlemen. Give him a round of applause, Stefan Stefanov and Aramis Vaskelis, as they get out of the car. Show your appreciation. Slide them left for Vaskelis, right for Stefan Stefanov. We go 1 vote for Vaskelis, 2 votes for Vaskelis. Vaskelis gets the win and advances through. Judges, just quickly back to you.
Yeah, quite clear-cut really. Vaskelis putting a monster chase run in, a catalogue of errors from Stefanov behind him, and Vaskelis taking an easy, clear win.
So there we go, a clear win for Aramis Vaskelis as he gives a little wave to the judges, and Stefan Stefanov finishes up the tyres on the back of that car. These guys, as you can see at home on the replay, just how exactly it went down for Aramis Vaskelis and how he sealed the deal. Sarah, move it along to the next battle, and another contender for the final 4 place.
Absolutely. We've got Adam Simmons versus Ricky Lawrence in Willie Hanna's car there that he has gelled amazingly with today, and he's absolutely flying. But Simmons is a great contender to possibly knock him out. We shall see. They are off.
Well, Ricky Lawrence, he knows that Wonnacott and Vaskelis have both gone through, so he needs to do exactly the same and get himself a spot in the final 4, but he shallows up on that initiation and fails to get outside zone 1 and 2 now, and you can see he's desperate to try and drive away from Simmons, who you said, rightly so, is a very good contender right now. Puts the hammer down. There's Ricky Lawrence that dials, and look, see that car just absolutely dialed on big angles. Ricky Lawrence throws that car to the edge of the circuit, wheel on the white line, as Adam Simmons holds back. Joe goes to make a dive, but Ricky Lawrence screams across the line.
I've got a feeling this is going to be a very, very close one to judge. That was close as it was, and we've got another run in just a minute there, and I don't think there's going to be much change. It's all relying on somebody making an error, but these drivers are both pretty consistent.
I think Ricky Lawrence is going to have to, to seal the deal, he's going to have to put the car on the door. He's going to have to put a tyre mark on the side of Adam Simmons' car and say, this is why I, there's a rustling. What's the rustling sound, Sarah?
It's nothing to do with chocolate.
It's definitely not me getting handed chocolate buttons to keep the energy, to keep the motivation to go. But it certainly is chocolate buttons getting handed around the tower right now.
All right,
they're off the line. Ricky Lawrence is going to have to put a tyre mark on the side of that BMW Z4 of Adam Simmons is to seal the deal and get the win and advance through to the final 4. They come down the hill, big flick from Simmons, but again he sacrifices outside zone 1 now as Ricky Lawrence holds back and waits for Simmons to make the move, then gets into it himself, but now he's lost ever so slightly. Making mistakes is Ricky Lawrence in the chase position. They come down the highway to hell, and Lawrence has been making his signature dive all day and almost makes a big mistake. As Simmons puts the foot down, drives away and keeps his cool, and he knows that Ricky Lawrence is making a whole load of errors. No proximity for Ricky Lawrence as Simmons drives away, and I don't even want to know what way the judges are going to throw this one.
I really don't know. Adam Simmons there kind of losing Ricky Lawrence a little bit. Is he got him shook? Has Ricky Lawrence gone into this too confident, and Adam Simmons has just come up and gone, actually buddy, no, you're not going to get this. He's sort of pushed him into a couple of errors, really, and Simmons has kept a pretty good line.
I think this come all down to the initiation from Ricky Lawrence. Ricky Lawrence threw that car in, he made a big mistake, and then from then on out he just kept making mistakes. He was panicked, he was rushed. Judges looking at a replay of this one on the screen so they can know exactly what's going on. And I don't even want to curse this, I don't want to curse this, but the clouds are starting to come in, the skies are starting to draw in, it's getting very dark here at Three Sisters, and you know what that means? That means rain is imminent in any minute now, and that could completely change the way this looks. These guys are pulled up to receive their decisions in from the judges. Give them some noise, ladies and gentlemen, as they get out of them cars. Left for Lawrence, right for Simmons. One vote for Simmons. Simmons gets the win! Simmons gets the win, and that has just thrown a spanner in the championship and completely messed it all up. We throw it to the judges. Judges, that one was a good one.
Yeah, that was good, but tough as well. We had to have a good chat about this. So, with Ricky leading, he had a fairly poor entry. He was off clips 1 and 2, and he sort of held together through the rest of then up until 8 to 9. He kind of put a wheel right at the edge of the track on the concrete, slowed him up, which gave Adam a catch up there. Adam had okay proximity for the lead line he was given, and they switch it round. Adam's lead, reasonable. He was, again, off 1, but he got to 2 and 3, and it was all nice from there. But Ricky dives from 2 to 3, stalls himself up, and then very slow between 6 and 7. Obviously, too much angle, just drops the proximity off. Adam takes it with a marginal advantage.
So there we go, that's the word from our judges, and big story. Simmons taking the win and moving through to the final 4. This one, they was almost having a fist fight down there on the grid, ready to get for this battle underway. Sarah.
We have Josh King and Oliver Evans. This one is going to be epic.
It certainly is going to be epic. Yeah, Josh King, our prime driver, finishing in the top 4, finishing on the top step of the podium yesterday. He made his way all the way through competition, and here he is battling for a spot in the final 4 against Oliver Evans, and Evans said he wants it. He wants to take this one through. He's still in the mix for the championship as well. He said to every point matters right now, but King says, I don't care. I just want another trophy to go home with this weekend. They come screaming down the highway to hell, and King onto the back bumper. He makes a big dive up and to the side. Can he hold on to it? He certainly can, as Josh King gives Oliver Evans some room to manoeuvre right now as the VP Racing Fuels S14 puts foot to floor, and Josh King's right with him onto the back bumper and across the line.
Brilliant drive from Evans, but Josh King absolutely bringing it at the last minute there. Just massive dive onto his star. The proximity was absolutely fantastic from King. He is flying at the moment, isn't he? We discussed him yesterday when he was racing, and he had a great win in round 1. And it all kind of went a little bit wrong for him. The car wasn't playing ball, and he's back in his original car now, and he's absolutely flying with it.
Well, I'll tell you what, if this is anything, not only just to show you how good Josh King's driving style is, it just goes to show you how good those tyres are, and it just goes to show you how good Martin Richards is at setting up a race car, because
that is a point.
That car has been flying all weekend, and Josh King just stuck it to Oliver Evans, and we know that Evans is fast. You can see him there on the phone to his spotter saying what's going down, where was he, how far away was he, what have I got to do, have I got to repay the favour, have I got to give him a little push now, because I've already pushed Neeson, have I got to give Josh King a push?
I think it's going to be the only way.
I think that's the only way. I think that's going to be the only way this is going to get decided, is when there's a little bit of contact, and I think Evans is going to be the one to put a little bit of contact onto the side of Josh King's car. They come off the line ready to rock and roll, and Cone's knocked over and almost a start line marshal taken down. King to lead in Evans right now as King fires that car in, and look at Evans right up onto the side straight away. Evans knows he can't let King take an inch as he almost makes contact on the transition, and Oliver Evans right back with him now as King starts to pull away, though the clouds get darker and rain almost begins to fall from the sky as Josh King puts that car into outside zone 8, puts on the throttle, but look at Oliver Evans sacrificing line. He hasn't got the pace, he hasn't got it to stick with King as King brings it home.
This could literally go either way for me now. Oliver Evans there absolutely bringing it at the beginning of the lap. He made a few dives, he was very, very close to Josh King, and then he backed off a little bit. There was less proximity towards the end. Is that Evans is rattled, or is it that Josh King's found his feet and absolutely flown? I'm not sure.
I just think that comes down to the pace in Josh King's car, and just he's driving all weekend has been phenomenal. And I wouldn't be surprised if he takes that through to the final 4. And we got any Josh King fans in the house? We got any Oliver Evans fans in the house? Yeah, we got a lot of Oliver Evans fans in the house.
There's a lot.
I don't know what way this is going to go. I don't know if that was too close to call. I don't know if that was too close to call. I'm getting signals thrown at me left, right and centre here of judges, what each judge thinks and who they thinks. Get them, as they get out of the car, ladies and gentlemen, make some noise. These guys putting on an absolute show for you guys, putting their cars on the line. I tell you what, I wouldn't mind seeing it go one more time. Let's see what the judges think. Slide them left for Evans, right for Josh King, Brad, Ben and Ryan. Oh, we got one more for a one more. Oh, we're going to go one more time. We're going to go one more time, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to see them go at it again. Judges, we throw it to you just real quick.
Yeah, that was just too close to call. Both drivers were pushing really hard. Both similar lead runs, but both bringing proximity at different parts of the track. That was mainly rewarded because of the lead run that the driver was given to Chase at that point. We had 6-4 to Josh in his chase, and then 6-4 again to Ollie in his chase. So we need to see that go again and get a clear winner.
Well, so it does look like we have got Matt House down there for a quick interview with Josh King. Matt, can you hear me?
I can hear you indeed. I'm down here with Josh King. How you feeling?
Yeah, it's going well. I stalled up a bit on towards clip 3, ends way hit me door, but yeah, just those sheer amount of grip in the Villino tyres. As you can see on the out, he couldn't catch me.
Well, that was it. On your lead run, you were just pulling on him, but obviously with those mistakes that were obviously in the previous run, that's why we're going one more time. So you're just going to bring the fight now?
Best lower the pressures.
I thought you lowered the pressures before.
Well, they're at 20 at the moment. I'll go to 12 now.
Okay, maybe not that low. Good luck. Back to the tower.
So here we go, yeah. Josh King, he's saying, look, no messing around. I know I've got the pace, but I want even more pace. So he's going to go back to the paddock, put some fresh tyres in that car. He's going to drop the tyre pressures down to 12 PSI. And we see Evans, leave the track pretty promptly. He's going to go straight back to his crew and say, we need more. We need more. From somewhere we need to find more, and we need a lot of it because he's fast. And he's talking about getting even more grip in that car. We need to double what we had, and they're going to be in that paddock saying, well, what can we do?
Yeah.
What can we do?
What's left in the bag now?
Well, they're going to have to find something. I can see Evans making their way through. Here we go. We're looking at the battle tree right now, and the first battle of our final 4 will be Wonnacott to take on Vaskelis, and Simmons making his way through. We don't know who's going to battle yet. Will it be King? Will it be Evans? Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows the way those guys are driving?
This could go either way for me.
Yeah, both of those guys deserve a spot in the final 4, but only one of them can get it. Right now, it does look like we may skip that battle and move on to the first battle of our final 4. And just going to take a quick look over to our track marshal Toby and find out what's going to go on. If we're going to jump it, or are we going to hang out? Are we going to chill and wait for that battle? Or?
Let's find out.
So we're waiting at the moment, waiting to find out. So for you guys in attendance, another little break in the action. Sorry about that. We're doing our best up here. We're doing our best.
Got to be done. Got to be done.
Yeah, we're just waiting to find out what's going on. So we are waiting to find out if we're going to move it along or if we're going to wait for the one more time of the Evans and Josh King. So don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, as we keep saying, tickets on sale now for the final round at Buxton. If you guys are wondering, what to do for the next event, if there's any more events left in the calendar, yeah, we've got the final where we'll be crowning our Pro-Am champion at Buxton, and on Friday and on the Saturday night we'll be crowning our Pro champion. Who will it be? Who knows? Because this championship right now has just been absolutely up and down all the way through, Sarah.
Yeah, we can't predict it. I mean, Buxton, what do you reckon? Do you fancy it? We're going to go?
I'm going.
I'm definitely there. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be so good. It's going to be 3 days as well.
Yeah, 3-day event. Yeah, Pro-Am. And then, we're going to throw in a special event at the end, but it's going to be unlive streamed. So
you need to be there.
That one's going to be good. Yeah, it's going to be very, very good. We can see there Martin Wonnacott sitting down on the line, eagerly awaiting his battle against Aramis Vaskelis. And these guys... All the nerves down there waiting to rock and roll. And I do believe we're going to go to Matt House. We're going to go to Matt House for earlier on today, and let's see what Matt House had to say earlier on today.
So Mr. Adam Simmons, 5th in the championship with a brand new car. It's incredible. I mean, I love the car anyway, but you've had a few little problems with this, obviously over the rounds, that you've sort of been slowly sorting out the little niggles.
Yeah, well, start of the season, literally I only drove car first time the day before round 1, so that were a bit sketchy, and obviously with seating position and stuff, took a bit of getting used to, but we're finally finding my feet with car, feeling really happy with it. Obviously Jason, who's in there now, he built car for me and he's done such a good job. Like, literally had 0 issues since car was built. Just seat time, putting fuel in it, fuel tyres, that's all we need to do with it. So can't ask for anything else really, especially like after last year with my Skyline. I had worst season I've ever had since I've been doing BDC. Finished like 20 something, and then to be brand new car, being 5th position, couldn't really ask for anything more really.
Well, that's the incredible thing, as you say, you've made a massive transition from the Skyline to obviously the Z4, and then as I say, you've been so competitive but just plagued with those little niggly problems everyone gets. I just can't wait to see you comfy in this car.
Yeah, well, we've just been out today, done a set of tyres, feeling comfortable with this track. It's pretty local to me, so I've done quite a few laps here, so I'm really happy. Can't wait for Sunday.
Because we've got a really tight championship. I mean, the top 3 alone, let alone the top 5. So you could really upset things this weekend if you get on that podium.
Yeah, well, that's the plan. Got on podium at round 3, so hoping to get back up there and show Martin how it's done.
Awesome. We're looking forward to it. Let's see you out there.
Always.
So there we go, Matt House yesterday or earlier on today, catching up with Adam Simmons, and there we go. We were just awaiting Josh King. He's sitting on Josh King's down there ready to get into the burnout box, and we can see apparently Oliver Evans making his way back out onto the circuit, ready to rock and roll. And these two guys, look, I mentioned it earlier, they were almost going to have a fist fight on the pre-grid before they even went out in the cars, and it was a fist fight as they went out on track, trading paint, and these guys saying we need more grip, we need more in it. And Oliver Evans walked away from that one, for me, saying, where do I find more pace? Where do I find more grip? Can I trust chasing in Josh King into Luna Bend as fast as he went into it? You just look at this now, a BMW versus a Nissan S14 versus E36 BMW 2JZ. That's a 6-cylinder 3-litre engine versus an M50. That's a 2.5 6-cylinder engine. 700 horsepower, 650 horsepower. 50 horsepower splitting them, nothing in itself.
That's nothing in it, really, is it? But to be honest with you, I don't think it would matter what car these guys were in. They're so confident. They're just going to battle it out tooth and nail till the end, regardless.
Well, you can only go one more time here at the BDC.
Absolutely.
So unfortunately, after this, our judges do have to come to a decision, and that's going to be a tough one, especially if these guys put on a fight like they just did. And I can see Oliver Evans smoking out the tyres on the back of that VP Racing Fuels Washloo S14.5 as he makes his way to the start line, and Josh King is now lost in a cloud of smoke as he awaits to pull up to the start line. This is going to be hard. These guys are not going to come out here 50%. And you know what? Josh King will say, if I can get on the podium on day 1 and then try and get on the podium at day 2, that's a really good weekend. But Oliver Evans is saying, my championship's still in this. I'm still in the championship. I can still get 3rd place potentially. They come off the line. It will be Evans to lead, King to give chase right now. The one more time battle. The windscreen wipers are on as the rain starts to fall. They fire it into outside zone 1, and look at this from Evans. He goes very wide and takes the back end off the car and the tyres. Evans stays in it though. No regard to the back of the S14 as King now gives him some room to manoeuvre, and the rain has started to fall and make a big problem for these guys. They come flying into outside zone 7. King makes another big mistake there as Oliver Evans puts foot to floor and starts to drive away. But Evans stays in it, and Josh King dials off the angle, squeezes his car up onto the side, and across the line they go. Oh, a little bit of contact.
A little bit of contact just across the line there as King just nudges that bumper off Evans' car that was hanging off by a thread.
He just gives him a rub on the door, and you can see Evans pushes the door open, looks across at him as if to say, are you serious? He pushed him across the line. Evans out of the car. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Oliver Evans out of the car, putting that car on the line to get the win.
He's just out there inspecting the damage.
He's just
so
looking
he
around
he can
saying...
decide how hungry he wants to be.
He's just looking
Josh
around
King.
saying, this car was immaculate just a few weeks ago, and now look at the state of it. Now look at it. I want to see exactly what happened on that start line. We can see Evans goes in very hot. Look at that, completely destroys the tyre wall there, removes the back end of the car, stays in it though. Josh King, you can see him backs off a little bit. And Josh King, he makes a couple of mistakes in this chase position. You can see right here, fires it in, and then watch this, shallows up massively. Look, almost straight, has to handbrake in the middle of the circuit as he then gets back into it again. Evans not as deep as what we'd like to have seen him as he bumps over that curb, but watch this from Josh King as he pushes right up onto the door. Oh, he does give him a little nudge.
I think he has given him a little nudge there,
So yeah, gives him a little nudge across the line, and Evans gets into a spin. Tyre marks on the side of Oliver Evans's car as these guys now make their way back down to the grid to get back to do it one more again. They've got to do it again now.
And one more time again, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, the second half of the one more
Yeah.
time, it's going to be King now to lead, and Evans will be angry. Evans will be angry if he's saying nobody, and I mean nobody, leaves tyre marks on the side of my car.
Yeah, he's going to be really gunning for King now. And to be honest with you, King obviously he's not the type of person who's going to want any damage purposely, but.
Well, look, we've got a 5-minute rule on our hands, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
We've got a 5-minute rule on our hands. Oliver Evans jumps out the car to talk to our track marshals, and he calls a 5-minute rule, and we send Josh King back towards the back of the grid, and we can see Evans out of the car there, kicking the wheel, and maybe, I mean, has he bent anything on the front of that car? And Evans, you know, he will know if that car doesn't feel right as he drove it back round to the beginning of the grid, and we can see Josh King pulling up there, and the back of that car absolutely battered now after it's done some serious battle this weekend. The rain falling, and you can see Wonnacott and the rest of the guys frantically running around, letting the tyre pressures down, softening off all the shocks, trying to get as much grip out of the back of these cars as possible. Oh, and Josh King's over there having a word with him and saying, I only hit the door, that's all the only bit I pushed. So we're going to wait to find out exactly what's going on from our marshals here, and they're going to have a word with them on. The track marshal's having a word with the judges to see the team who's at fault. I think Evans is trying to call for a competition timeout, potentially, Sarah.
Yeah, it's all coming down to this now. This is the drama, isn't it? This is what we kind of hope for. We want to see these guys really fighting it out. We don't want to see them kind of just going, oh, okay, like half effort, let's go wrong. We want to see them fully sending it. But unfortunately, the consequence of that is this kind of situation where you end up putting yourself out too far and possibly causing damage to your car.
Well, I mean, if Josh King is deemed at fault for that contact, you know, and causing damage to the side of Oliver Evans's car, it will be a competition timeout, which means that Evans will get, you know, I mean, normally it would be to the end of the bracket, but this is the end of the bracket. This is the final battle. Oh, wow, and I'm getting the signal from the judges, and they are deeming Josh King. No, we're just getting 10 minutes. We're getting 10 minutes, so the judges are giving Oliver Evans a little bit more time to fix that car. He's not deeming Josh King at fault. We're giving Josh King, you know, he returns back to the pits. We're giving Oliver Evans 10 minutes to fix that car, to get himself back out in competition. We see King down there waiting to rock and roll. Listen, we said it was going to be fireworks. We said it was going to be up and down. Who knows what's going to happen next?
You weren't wrong. You weren't wrong. So this is a competition timeout now. He's got 10 minutes.
No.
No?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm getting so confused because
we're just trying to confirm what's happening.
Yeah.
Now.
So there's so many people.
Okay.
There's so many people in the tower at the moment shouting things around, trying to work out exactly what it is. Yet we are giving a competition time out to Oliver Evans to fix that car. 10 minutes to fix that car. And there we go. I can see Evans pull up there. It looks like we're going to move on, though, to the first battle of our final four, and that will be Wonnacott to take on Vaskelis. We're going to try and keep the action flowing here before the rain completely destroys the track and we run out of time. And we can see Wonnacott out of the car there, bending down, dropping tyre pressures on the back of that Toyota. And you can see him prepping that car, getting ready to rock and roll. Those new tyres on the back, proving serious this weekend. No one can catch him.
They can't so far. He seriously brought his A game. Top qualifier, he's absolutely flying. So I can't believe there's anything left in that to change. I thought he must be 100% dialed up with that car now. He's obviously got little tweaks he can do.
There must be another 10% in it.
Secret tweaks.
And we can see Vaskelis out of the car now, talking to our start line marshal, Malks, trying to find out, can he go back to the pits? Is there anything he's got left in it? Well, he gets back into the car, and we're going to find out if Vaskelis is ready to battle now or not. this weekend proving, a task.
It absolutely is. It's certainly never straightforward, is it, with drifting? But the rain, Ian, is coming down a little bit more. I don't even like to say the word, but everyone out there knows.
It's coming down. It's really starting to fall now. Yeah, and we was scheduled rain at this time of the day. As we take a look across now on that big screen, we can see Martin Wonnacott will take on Aramis Vauskalis, and this one really is. This is championship points in the balance.
Serious championship points, and this is not the first time the rain has sort of hampered our final places as well.
No, exactly that, and we know that Vauskalis has had an absolute mare in the rain in the final round at the NEC, and the rain for Wonnacott, he was king. He stood tall, second place on the podium. So could this be the one? Could this be the nail in the coffin for Aramis Vauskalis?
It certainly could be, and I just don't think there's anywhere we can predict. We're just going to have to sit with bated breath and wait to see what happens out there in just a minute.
Well, I don't think we're going to have to wait much longer right now, as we can see Vauskalis is on the line, ready to rock and roll. And it does look like we may give these guys a run round the track, to feel out the grip levels. It's changed considerably since the last time that they drove on it. So it looks like we're going to give these guys a lap around the track to see how it's faring. We're sending these guys.
Fair enough,
yeah, we're sending these guys into Luna Bend here, absolutely foot to floor, and we don't want any big accidents. And we see some close ones yesterday in our pro-am competition.
We have. And we were expecting these guys to go full send. Like, we need to give them a little test out there, because the conditions have changed. Like you said, it can be very, very slippy, especially because it's not heavy rain as well, because it's really light rain. Once you've got a lot of rubber down on the track, that little bit of light rain makes it very, very slippy very quickly.
It certainly does. Look, it's like driving on an ice.
Yeah.
It's so slippery out there, and especially we've got a little bit of oil spilt from Robin Neeson as well, so that's not going to help things. So we're going to give these guys a sighting lap. You can see it up there on your screen as well, as Martin Wonnacott, and that track fully wet now as he fires that car in. And as we mentioned, this guy took second step on the podium at the last round in a very wet track at Birmingham. Well, can he do it again? Can he overturn a man who wasn't that good in the wet, Aramis Vauskalis? After we get these two sighting laps out of the way, we're going to let these guys go at it and do battle to find out who will be in the final and who will be in the third and fourth place playoff.
And Ian, something that sounds a little bit weird is that we're saying we don't want it to be slippy. A lot of people might think that actually it's drifting. Don't you want it to be slippy? You want to slide around? That's not actually the case. Yeah, that's absolutely not the case whatsoever. Which is why tyres are so important to these guys, because they do need the grip. Slippy's fine, but with slippy you've got no control.
Exactly that.
And that's where the grip from the tyres come in.
Yeah, these guys are running these incredible tyres. I know most of the paddock now running on these Trace R1 tyres, and they are super soft. They're running these tyres, probably now in the wet 8-10 psi, shocks on full soft, and even though these guys are spinning the wheels and going sideways, the common thought is that these guys don't need a lot of grip, but that is in fact not the truth. They need as much drive as possible. Look at this, Vauskalis struggling in the wet already. He doesn't like this wet conditions. That car suits a dry track, and he's going to have to get himself dialed in right now for wet weather. As you can see, the anti-lag now switched on. He's got that car, set up completely different for the wet than he has in the dry, and Vauskalis will make this final pass around the circuit, and then we will get these guys out. And then, you know what, after just seeing the sighting lap alone, I already think that Vauskalis could be on the ropes.
I know, I was just about to say the same thing. I'm normally quite reserved, but you know what, I'm going to throw it out there for once. I think this has shook him. I do. I think this has shook him, and I think Wonnacott's the stronger driver in this condition.
Yeah, and we know that he didn't like the wet in Birmingham, and that's hurt him. That's massively hurt him. And Wonnacott will be sitting there. Maybe Wonnacott's sitting there now thinking, this is what I wanted. I wanted it to rain. I wanted to get a little something over Vauskalis to try and beat him, and especially here in the final four, going into the final battles of the day. It looks like those guys are pulling up ready to rock and roll. As soon as we get the thumbs up, we are going to send these guys for the first battle of our final four and finally get some action on circuit, Sarah.
Absolutely, we've waited long enough, and these guys have listened to us for long enough. I think they're probably dying to see some more battles out on track, and we're going to see that in just a minute.
So these guys pull up to the line, and we get the thumbs up all around in the tower. It will be Martin Wonnacott to lead out Aramis Vauskalis for a spot in the final. Who will take it through to the final? Who will have to play off for third and fourth place on the podium? They come around the rolling start and through the pace cone and past those yellow speed racing flags and down, and you can see Vaskelis onto the back bumper he goes. A flame pops from the bonnet of Wonecott's car as he absolutely flies down, flames banging out the back end of that Toyota Chaser right now. And look at Vaskelis right up the side, gets himself all in the mix, and this one, the championship points hanging in the balance as Vaskelis fires it into Wonnicott, and Wonnicott cool, calm and collected as he sticks to that qualifying line, dials himself up on a good line. But look at Vaskelis, he's right with him. Vaskelis is there. Vaskelis wants this. He's hungry for the championship as he pushes Wonnicott across the line.
Every possibility, I could be wrong in my predictions there. Vaskelis really, really bringing it. He kept himself nice and cool and calm, brought it right on his door. The proximity was fantastic towards the end there.
Incredible stuff there. You know what, for Vaskelis, he just shone. He just came alive. It's incredible. But he was being given the perfect lead to follow, you know. It was incredible lead line there from Martin Wonnicott. We swap them around. It will now be Wonnicott to chase down Vaskelis. Can Vaskelis escape Wonnicott, or can Wonnicott get this done? He gives him the thumbs up as they pull up to the start line. These cars dialed, ready for action. Drivers pumped, sitting in the car, ready to go. They get the thumbs up. They're off the line. Vaskelis to lead, Wonnicott to give chase. Wonnicott now has to repay the favour as they come through the pace cone and down the hill. Vaskelis clutch kicks that car and gets it into action as they completely fulfil out of zone one, and a little back off there from Wonnicott and Vaskelis as they get nice into the outside zone 2, but Sacrifice 3 now washed nice and deep back on that qualifying line. They both go as they fire down into outside zone 7, and Wonnicott needs to make the dive. This is where he needs to start pushing the aggression if he's going to overturn that chase from Vaskelis. Wonnicott needs to be on the door, and here he comes! Here comes Martin Wonnicott as he gets right up on the side, backs out of it, now jumps back onto the back end of that BMW, and across the line they go.
Too much change for me to guess at all what the judges are going to call for this one. I mean, Wonnicott strong as always. Vaskelis, that chase run, he absolutely brought it. Absolutely, he wasn't as strong on his lead, but I do think, I don't know. I'm confused by it now. I don't know. I can't decide.
Look, it was very, very close. Both guys, you know, they threw it all out there. The rain now absolutely hammering down here at Three Sisters at Wigan. I just want to do a huge shout out to every member of the public that come out this weekend to support UK Drifting. You guys are incredible, and to stand in the rain now and support these guys is incredible. Give yourselves a round of applause, but most of all, give these guys a huge round of applause. Martin Wonnicott and Aramis Vaskelis, they're doing this for the championship. Championship points hanging in the balance. Who is taking it through to the final? Who is going to have to play off for third and fourth place? Sliding left for Wonnicott, right for Vaskelis. Brad, Ben and Ryan. Oh, it's got 1-4 for one more time. Oh, we're going to go one more time. One more time. Judges, what are you doing? I don't even going to be able to speak by the end of today.
Yeah, so obviously drivers struggling in these conditions. You could see the effort they're putting in there, but quite a few mistakes from both drivers there in lead and chase position. What we ended up with, Martin and Aramis, they basically similar, matched mistakes in their lead run. Slight differences from the end of the track to the start of the track, but proximity built from Martin at the start and then dropped off at the end. Aramis built not much proximity at the start, built it at the end. We've literally got 7-3, 7-3. We need to see them go again and get a clear win.
So there we go, arm out the window there from Vaskelis, fist pumping his Lithuanian crew down to the right side of me at the tower, and he's pumped, he's going back to the start line. No need for tyres, Sarah, absolutely full wet track now, and that's really mixed things up. Because Wonnicott fully thought, do you know what, I'm out of this. He probably thought, I'm out of this, and the spotter said he was on your door. And he made a few dives, but he didn't really get there. He didn't have the same sort of proximity as what Vaskelis did. And then they go to a one more time, and now Wonnicott's sitting in that car saying, maybe I can take him down. Maybe I can beat him in the final four. Can I get to the podium before him? Can I claim all the points today? He will take home every single point that is on offer today if Wonnicott can take top step on the podium.
He absolutely will, and I tell you what, I'll hold my hands up. I was wrong in my prediction. Vaskelis really brought it there. He didn't look confident on his sighting lap. He looked like he was a bit shook by the conditions, because possibly, like we mentioned earlier, because of last time at NEC, the last round, that really scuppered his chances to even qualify. But he's clearly learned from that, and he's coming back strong.
He clearly has learnt, and he is coming back strong, as we can see now. Josh King, oh wow, but the front wheel on that car wobbling massive. Josh King is going to just do a sighting lap now, because obviously conditions changing massively after his battle with Oliver Evans, and King has still got a run to do with Evans to decide who will take the win and advance through into the final four. Will it be King or will it be Evans? So one more run in that battle to do, and we can see King taking his sighting lap to make sure that car is 100%. Hasn't driven in the wet this weekend just yet, only a little bit of damp conditions this morning, and even then that damp track in practice dried up very, very quickly.
It absolutely did. The guys have got all of their seat time really in the dry this weekend, so it really does shake things up when we get I can't really say unexpected rain, but you know,
should be used to it by
at
now.
the end of the day, this little bit of rain's come down just right at the last minute.
Yeah, it really has, and it's really thrown something into the mix that nobody really expected was going to happen. We was going to hope that this rain was going to hold off till 6 o'clock when we had this show done and dusted. Unfortunately not, and you can see the wipers on beating as the rain falls down from the sky onto the track, and you can see Evans looking strong there as he puts in a sighting lap. He's just going to feel this out and see what the car feels like as he navigates his way around. And Evans knows now, really, this comes down to tyres, because you know, power really, that's not a question at the moment in the wet. Just comes down to tyres. Who's got the most grip? Who's dialed enough grip into that chassis to try and drive away? And Oliver Evans, I wouldn't be surprised if he has literally got that car with barely any tyre pressures in the back of it, no shocks on the back. He is literally going to have everything that car has got dialed in so he can try and take down Josh King. And well, it looks like Adam Simmons is going to go for his sighting lap as well. We're just going to send these guys for their sighting lap while we await to get the battle back on the line and ready to rock and roll. And it will either be the one more time of Wanner Cotton Vaskelis, or it will be the second run of Evans and King. So Adam Simmons there getting a little tester in the rain, just getting,
just get the feel of it.
Not as glamorous, unfortunately, in the rain.
It's not.
Nowhere near as glamorous as what it is in the dry.
It doesn't look quite as savage when you haven't got like plumes of tyre smoke coming out the back, but they are still pushing this car, and they're having to work harder in a way because you've got a different change in
there's a fine
grip.
line.
Yeah.
There's a
very
fine line. Yeah.
There's a fine line in the dry, and when they throw the rain into it as well, it's so easy to lose it.
Yeah, it's so easy to make a mistake, put your car into an over-rotation, spin, cause an accident. It's so much easier in the wet. These cars, obviously, as much as we say they're running big amounts of grip in these chassis, they still, just...
You're still sideways, though, aren't you? You're still spinning the wheels. And it's very tricky to... I commend them all for when they actually miss an accident sometimes. When they avoid an accident, it's fantastic driving skill from them and great reactions.
Exactly that. So we can see Josh King has pulled up to the start line, and Oliver Evans is also going to join him. So it does look like we are going to finish up the second half of the one more time battle of King and Evans right now as they pull up to the line, wipers on. They've both felt out the track. We get the thumbs up all around. Well, and this one is for the final place in the final four. Things are getting dragged out this weekend by these pros, that's for sure. They pull to the line. It will be King to lead, Evans to give chase as they come around the pace cone and down the hill. Grip is all that's going to be in this one as Evans jumps onto the back bumper of that BMW of Josh King right now. They slide down the hill as he off-roll goes Josh King as he waits for that car to grip up. Now starts to work it, now starts to put himself in it, but look at Evans onto the back bumper he goes. Evans knows that this one could be his for the taking right now after that first run mistake. They fire into the outside zone 7. Both guys fully committed. Wheels dropped off the edge of the circuit for Josh King. He goes very deep. Oh, and contact! Contact from Evans as Evans comes in way too hot. And where can we get a clean battle? Can we just get a clean battle? Look at this. Was Josh King off throttle? That's what the judges are going to be looking at. Or did Evans come in too hot? This one, the judges not getting an easy day today. It's been a tough one. Been a tough one, that's for sure. So Oliver Evans out of the car. Look at this. You can see Josh King absolutely flying. Little dab of the handbrake there. Oh, you know what? I'm inclined to say that King was off throttle. I'm inclined to say that.
It did look like he slowed up a bit, but it's quite tricky to see from that angle, so we'll let the judges go for it.
Ladies and gentlemen, give a round of applause. Josh King and Oliver Evans out there smashing up their prides of joy just for your entertainment. And these guys putting it all on the line. This is for the final spot in the final four. Whoever wins this will go against Adam Simmons for a spot in the final or the third and fourth place playoff. We look across to the judges. Do we have a decision? Do we know what is going to go on? Not yet. Judges saying not yet. Hold on, Ian. Hold on. We haven't come to a decision yet. We need to see a replay from a different angle. I don't know, Sarah.
I don't. I really, really
Do you know what? I wouldn't want to judge that. You
No.
couldn't pay me to judge that.
No.
Because I wouldn't
don't
want to
think I wanna.
upset Josh King and I wouldn't want to upset Oliver Evans.
No, absolutely not. So we're just going to see, I think, another replay. Make sure the judges can make the best decision they can.
Yeah, look, they're going to look at this at every angle they possibly can and see, look, who is at fault. And you know what, I'm inclined to say that that's King's mistake. Look at King pointing to himself there. I think he knows. I think Josh King knows that he made a mistake. I'm inclined to say it as well. I'm inclined to...
You're probably right, but I'm not even going to guess this one. I am not going to
well,
call
decisions in. Slide them left for Evans, right for Josh King. Brad, Ben and Ryan, they make it unanimous. Oliver Evans gets the win. Oliver Evans gets the win. Judges a tough one. Contact after contact after contact.
Yeah, that was really tough. So we go back to their first run. The contact that happened was after the finish line, which actually we ended that with the 7-3 to Josh King with the chase he made. Ollie dropping a couple of wheels at different places in the track. Just going to hold off 2 seconds.
Wait for him to go past.
Yeah, sorry about that. Josh, a little burn out there. So with Josh's lead run, the whole point was who was at fault for that contact there. What we see was Josh coming through nice and fast from clip 7 to 8, and then all of a sudden he slows up massively. Ollie following the same pace, transitioning at the same pace, and then all of a sudden there's a car practically stopped in front of him. He's got nowhere to go. That's where the contact happened. So 10-0 in Ollie's favour. That takes the win.
So there we go, getting the win. Evans goes through to the final four, and that is it. Our final four decided. And well, we thought we was going to have someone, in the final, but no. These guys made it again. A super tough weekend for our judges. We go back to the start line, and we have got Martin Wonnacott sitting there ready to go. He's going to lead out Aramis Vasquez. Now these guys went 2 for now at it in the first battle. What's left in it, Sarah? We're about to find out. They're on the line. They get the thumbs up. And we are good to go. Vasquez to chase down Wonnacott. They've felt each other out. They know the grip levels on the track. They're going to push even harder this time. Oh no! And it looks like Wannacott's car has failed him at the final hurdle. Wow, what has gone on? We're going to red flag that. We see our marshal running out there trying to red flag it, trying to stop Martin Wonnacott to find out what's going on. He's going to try and make his way. He's going to make his way back to the pits. He's going to make his way back to the pits, and you know what? Just when I thought things were going to get a little easier, you guys here in attendance were going to get to see some good action and a break. What went down there? Wonnacott makes his way back round to the pre-grid though, so is that car good to go, or what is going on? We get a marshal down and find out exactly what is happening. Sarah, this isn't getting it any easier whatsoever.
It's absolutely not, and I really, really hope that he's going to have a chance to actually get back out there, but it's just typical, isn't it? We always say nobody wants a breakdown at any time, but it always happens at the pinnacle moment when you just don't need it to.
Wow, so I can see that Martin Wonnacott has pulled back up to the start line, but he's now pulled up to the chase position. So that means he has forfeited the first half of the run. So that means that Aramis Vasquez has a 10-0 advantage already. So Vasquez sits on the line with a 10-0 advantage in the lead position. Wonnacott has to chase him down. Wonnacott praying to God, praying to everything right now that Vasquez's car has a problem, that he shuts down, that he zeroes out. Who knows what's going to go down? They come through the line and you see the flames banging from underneath the bonnet of Vasquez's car and Wannacott's car as they get into it now. Both cars working 100% as Vasquez sticks to that qualifying line. He gets nice out to outside zone 2, but not to 3. As Wonnacott tries to force an error and he goes wheels off the edge of the track, and Wannacott's car shuts down, and he shuts it down, and Vasquez stays in it. And this could be big for the championship. This could be big right now as we see Vasquez finishing up the run and Wonnacott stays there to receive the decision. What is going on?
We always say anything can happen within the championship, and it literally can. Like, nobody expected this. We've been praising Wonnacott all weekend at how much he's been flying. Unfortunately, it looks like he's got problems with that car, which is just the very last thing he wanted or needed right now.
Do you know what he said in his video? That he had issues with the car, that he had Greg from ProTuner on Team Viewer, you know, he had him logged in. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, Martin Wonnacott! He had issues with that car. He's been working all weekend tirelessly trying to iron it out. He said the iPad, that car, you know, he's got an iPad that runs most of the ECU. That was shutting down, breaking down, causing problems. He's leading the championship by like 6 points right now, so everything that Wonnacott does matters. Decisions in, slide him left for Wonnacott, right for Vaskelis, and there we go, unanimous Aramis. Vaskelis gets the win! And look at Vaskelis, look at the emotion. He's absolutely ecstatic. He wouldn't have wanted a win like that. He would have wanted to push Wonnacott around the track. But that is how it goes down. Wonnacott shuts it down twice, and it's a clear win for Vaskelis. Vaskelis goes to the final, and his championship, when he thought it was over, Sarah, it's just been reignited. Give Martin Wonnacott a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. What a guy this weekend. He's going to go home, back to the pits now, try and work that car out, because he's going to have to battle for the third step on the podium.
He absolutely is. So fingers crossed that Martin Wonnacott can iron out those niggles and get the car back out for that playoff for the third and fourth. If he can still get third on the podium, he might just save himself enough points to keep him in the running for the championship. Let's hope that he can. But Vaskelis, like you said, Ian, he doesn't want to win in that way, but he's still going to be over the moon that his championship is wide open again.
But look, for Vaskelis, he didn't qualify in Birmingham, you know, and everyone looked at him and said, wow. And Wonnacott took the advantage to take to take second place on the podium, take all those points and jump back into the championship. Vaskelis has just sat there and said, whoa, whatever happened at the NEC, forget about it, because I've just got myself in the final, and now I sit in such a good position, because those small amount of points will matter, and it could be almost tied at the top before we go to Buxton. Who knew? Who knew what was going to happen today?
Completely unpredictable. The championship is just hanging by a thread at the minute for so many different drivers.
Well, we go back to the start line, Sarah. Who is up next?
Here we have Oliver Evans and Adam Simmons. So these guys are going to be playing off now. Whoever makes it through, whoever wins this, is going to go through to the final playoff.
So there we go, yeah, of Evans on the line to take on Adam Simmons. And I can look down and I can only see one of those guys ready to go. Is Evans making his way? Yeah, here he is. Oliver Evans making his way back out onto the circuit. I can see Adam Simmons sitting there poised, ready to go. Vaskelis out of the car. He cannot believe it. He cannot believe the turn of fortune. Fist pumps the air. He says, this is it. This is it. And he looks across and he says, one of you guys is going to get me on the side of your car, because I am not going away this weekend without taking the top step on the podium. Simmons sits here, he said, I've done it before. Round 3, I got a step on the podium. I got the third step on the podium. Can I do it again? Can I do it again? The rain's falling once again, Sarah. This is like a love story for Adam Simmons. He says, the rain is falling. I'm looking good at this track. The car's working. I'm in the zone. Can I do it again? Well, I mean, he's got to take down a strong contender. Evans is looking unstoppable, and there he is. He appears out of nowhere down the side of the camera, warming up the tyres on the back of the S14.5. And Evans is going to want this. Evans hasn't had a podium for a long time, and he says, there is no way that you're going to the podium, Simmons. There's no way you're going to take first or second. Here we go, thumbs up all round in the tower and thumbs up on the track. The final battle in our final 4 before we enter the final, and the third and fourth place players, they are off the line. It will be Evans to lead, Simmons to give chase right now, and Evans comes flying round. He's done some battle already in the wet, and he knows this like the back of his hand. Oh, Simmons comes in too hot. Simmons comes in way too hot, and you know what? Oliver Evans' car is like a Britney Spears song, Hit Me Baby One More Time, because Jesus Christ, has that car had some hits today.
It certainly has, and I tell you what, he's come back from every single one. Unfortunately, if that was Adam Simmons coming in too hot there, that's going to give the advantage to Evans. It's getting really tricky because that rain is absolutely chucking it down now. So
look at Simmons' position on the circuit. Look at where Simmons is when he initiated. He wasn't on that wide line. Where is all the optimum grip? You know, that's where the grip's been put down all day. Simmons initiated in the middle of the circuit and got it wrong. He knew he was going backwards. He stayed on the handbrake, and Evans just, you know, he was just a passenger in that as he got hit and pushed offline. So these guys moved back to the start line, and Evans says, well, I mean, what's another bit of damage to the car? The car's already in bits. It's not like I've got an event in it.
He's been through enough now. He might as well just stay out there. not worry about it.
Well, Oliver Evans will be driving that car in just a few days' time as he heads over to Ireland to the Drift Games Extreme Championship. You know, he's going to sit in there and thinking, guys, will you give it a break? I haven't got them many hours in a day to fix this car and get it ready to rock and roll. But nevertheless, he pulls up to the line, and now Evans will chase down Simmons. We're going to get a clean battle in a minute.
Well, you sound confident about that. I'm not so sure now.
I'm hoping we get a clean battle in a minute.
I hope so as well.
Well, our start line, Marshall Melks out there in his shorts, having a look around the car just to make sure it is all right. And you know what? Look at the damage on the back of Evans's car. It looks like that wheel's towing in ever so slightly, so something bent on the back of Evans's car. And you can see, yeah, Melks just doing the kick test.
Yeah, that's legit.
Like he's going to buy it, like it's a second-hand car and he's going to buy it. Well, he gets the thumbs up, so Melks is happy to send him off the line. And Simmons is sitting there saying, well, I'm in a dangerous place now because I know that Evans is going to want to stick it to the door and he's going to really push me. I've just hit his car and give him a little nudge and he's going to repay the favour. They pull up to the line. It will be Simmons to lead and Evans to give chase. And a spot in the final awaits. Who will battle Martin Aramis Vaskelis? Will it be Simmons? Will it be Evans? They come off the line ready to rock and roll. There we go, screaming through the gears they go. No such contact this time as Simmons fires that car in nice wide line. And Evans keeps a hold of it, stays away from Adam Simmons. He knows he's potentially got some points in the bag right now, so he's going to give him some room to manoeuvre. Wet, tricky conditions plaguing the track at the moment. They come flying down the highway to hell. This is where Evans has been making his dive, and he goes to attempt it right now on the inside of the circuit. You can see Simmons just shallow up ever so slightly on the transition. Now Evans starts to wind in, starts to turn the screw as he puts the side of his car to the side of Adam Simmons' car, and they go wheel to wheel across the line.
You did want a nice clean run. That was much better from both drivers.
That's what I was hoping for.
Yeah, that's
just a clean battle. It's not it's not much to ask for, is it?
If nothing else, for the judges' sake, just to make their life a little bit easier for once in this weekend. But that was a much better run, and I think kudos to both of them really for dealing with these changing conditions so well.
Yeah, look, these conditions are not easy, and people say, you know, it's easier to drift in the wet than it is to dry, and these guys would disagree, and I would disagree as well, because you know what, when you're in the dry, you've got so much more car control. You know exactly how the car's going to react. In the wet, anything can happen. One wheel drop on a line, even an outside zone where it's been painted, that can completely upset the car and completely put it into a spin. So these guys pull up to receive their decision. Ladies and gentlemen, as they get out of the car, make some noise, Adam Simmons and Ollie Evans. I know you're cold, I know you're wet, but we're almost there. Hang with me, Wigan, we're almost there. So they hug each other as they get out of the car. Slide him left for Evans, right for Simmons. There we go, unanimous. Oliver Evans goes to the final. Oliver Evans goes to the final to play off against Aramis Vaskelis, and Simmons, well, he'll have to fight it out with Wonnacott for the third and final step on the podium. No need to go to the judges, Sarah. If you're smashing into your opponent going backwards, then you're not winning an event, you're not winning a battle.
You're probably going to lose a few points for that, I dare say. But he's got another chance. He's going to battle it out for third and fourth spot with Martin Wonnacott.
Yeah, so Simmons now will make his way back round to the start line. Hopefully that car ready to rock and roll. No changes needed, no fuel, no tyres. Hopefully he should be able to get straight back onto the start line to battle Martin Wonnacott for the third and fourth place playoff. Only one step on the podium for one of those guys. Who will take it? Wonnacott seems like he's the wet king at the moment, but Adam Simmons got on the podium in a very, very wet Teesside Autodrome at round 3. Can he do it again? It was the third step. Can he get on the third step again? He's going to try to. It will be Toyota versus BMW. 700 horsepower versus 400 horsepower. V8 versus 1JZ. Well, Wonnacott sits there with the door open, sits in the car waiting to rock and roll. And Simmons pulls up to the marshals and says, I don't need anything. All I need to do is get on the line. He puts the helmet back on. He puts the gloves on. You can see Wonnacott strapping himself in, ready to rock and roll. And our track marshals stand there saying, come on, buddy, let's get this show on the road. Wannacott's car slams into gear as he goes down to warm up the tyres. And Simmons sits there all eagerly awaiting as he gets himself prepped, maybe on the spot on the radio to the spotters saying, look, I've got Wonnacott, what do I do?
he's going to be looking for some direction now.
What do I do? I've got
Yeah,
one.
help me out here. Give me some tips. How close was he to me? And he's going to be looking. They have felt each other out previously, though, so they might know each other's driving style. They might be confident with it. We'll just have to see. I think it's the weather that's just going to throw them off.
It's going to be the weather. It's going to be a battle of, listen, who can make it round the track? Who can hold on to it? Here we are. Martin Wonnacott in the lead position, your first place qualifier now. Faces off for the third step on the podium. Adam Simmons sits there saying the championship wasn't even a dream for me. He's inside the top 10. He said, well, you know what, at this rate I could finish in the top 4, get a European licence. This could be the year for me. This is when it could work in a brand new car. He sits on the line. He looks across at the previous championship points leader. Wigan, are you ready for the third and fourth place playoff? I know you're wet and cold. I'm going to let you get away with that one for a minute. We are ready to go. It will be Wonnacott to lead, Simmons to give chase. They get the thumbs up, hand in the air, and they are good to go. Wonnacott is praying, he's hoping that car holds together for 2 more runs. They come through the pace cone and start smashing through the gears. Wonnacott looks good. Oh no! And it's done it again! It's done it again, and Wannacott's car shuts down when it matters the most. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
I can't believe he's having this look now after everything he's done this weekend, and this is the look that is just befalling him right now. I can't believe it.
I cannot believe it. You know what, look, he turns the car off, he turns it back on, and it resets the system, and it gets ready to go. He just done a burnout. He said the car is there. Look at his face. Look at Martin Wonnacott. The emotion, he's absolutely gutted. He's having his heart torn out right now. That car is not playing ball. He pulls up to the line in the chase position. Simmons is sitting there thinking, this is it. I'm back on the podium. I am back on the podium. I'm in my brand new car. This is the weekend for me again to redeem myself. We get the thumbs up all around. Wonnacott is just hoping, he is praying that car puts in a lap. Can he chase down Simmons? Can Simmons hold it together? They come off the line, Simmons to lead, Wonnacott to give chase. As they come through the pace cone, it looks like Wannacott's car wants to play ball this time as they fire in, and look at Wonnacott onto the door. He goes a little nudge, pushing Adam Simmons into outside zone 2, but in the middle of the circuit he goes, and Wonnacott has to correct his line now as Simmons stays in it. Simmons says to himself, just one run, buddy, just one run, hold it together, put in a clean pass of the circuit as they come firing down to outside zone 7. Wonnacott still bringing the fight as he jumps up onto the side of that BMW Z4. Oh, and Simmons also almost makes a big mistake. Wonnacott brings the proximity and sticks it to the side of the car. The car shuts down again. He kicks it to get it back in action, and across the line they go. Wigan makes some noise.
Outstanding effort from Wonnacott there. He was just really hoping he could just bring something to the game and hoping and praying that Simmons is going to make a mistake. He didn't really make any mistakes, unfortunately. He's having such problems with that car. It's really, really letting him down when he really doesn't need it to the most.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Martin Wonnacott has been through the wars this weekend, and he has literally been pushed to the limit. We are not going to give the decision here. You know, we're just going to find out from our judges, do we have a decision? That is all we need to know, because we're going to give that away at the podium. Judges, do we have a decision?
Yeah, we have a decision.
So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That means one and one thing only. We're going to the final! And this one a big one. This one a big one, because I tell you what, right now Oliver Evans is going to be sitting in that car saying, hell to this event, hell to the rain. Do you know why? Because I have nothing to lose. Vaskelis, he's been taking the top step of the podium all year. He's been taking the thunder. He's been stealing the limelight all season. Everybody has been saying, when is Oliver Evans going to come back? When is that little Welshman going to come back and steal the light? And you know what? The way he's driving this weekend, it could be right now. We are almost ready to send it, but I am going to need every single person in Wigan to raise the roof and make some noise. I know it's cold, I know it's wet. Wigan, can you make some noise for your final battle of the day? Yes, that's what I'm talking about. On the line, Evans to take on Vaskelis right now in this one for the championship as well. Big points in this for Vaskelis. If he can take the win, he'll take the championship back. They're off the line and smashing through the gears. It's going to be Evans to lead, Vaskelis to give chase. just where he wants to be. They come down, a big initiation, side by side, as Vaskelis starts to bring the fight already, bringing the fight to the VB Racing Fuels S14 as he fires into outside zone 3. Vaskelis right with him, almost contact as they transition to the outside edge of the circuit. Vaskelis right with Evans as he makes a big dive up onto the side goes Aramis Vaskelis as he starts to push the Welshman now into the outside zones. Back onto the door goes Aramis Vaskelis, wheel to wheel on outside zone 9, and Vaskelis goes nowhere as he pushes Oliver Evans across the line. Wigan makes some noise.
Brilliant run from both drivers. Vaskelis absolutely bringing his A game. He's giving it all he's got now, and so is Oliver Evans. He's like you said, Ian, he's trying. He's going, do you know what? I've got nothing to lose now. I'm going to go for this. I'm going to try and take Vaskelis down. I don't know if he can do it. I was wrong earlier. Vaskelis is really comfortable right now in the wet, which we didn't think he would be, and good on him.
Well, let me tell you something right now. Oliver Evans rocked up over a year ago at Rockingham, and not many people knew who he was. I certainly didn't really know who he was. He'd been hanging around in the back streets of street drifting and getting himself a name, and he turned up to BDC and he made a name. And on one weekend he went from Pro-Am to Pro, and he pushed Matt Carter around Rockingham Motor Speedway, and he stapled his name in the history books of the British Drift Championship. Right now he sits on the line. He says, this has been a long time. This has been a long time coming. I haven't had a taste of that champagne for many moons. And right now he looks at Aramis Vaskelis as Vaskelis' scream starts to steam up. He says, I'm taking you down, buddy. I don't care about this championship. I want the top step on the podium. I give the thumbs up to Toby. Wigan, are you ready for the final run of the day? That's what I'm talking about. We get ready to slam the door shut of Aramis Vaskelis' car, but he can't see a thing. He cannot see a thing. Look at the windscreen, steamed up to hell. He can't even see where he's going. He's going to do it blind. Is he going to slam the door closed and say hell to this? I'm going to just go for it. I'm going to put it all on the line. Look how steamed up the windscreen is in Vaskelis' car, and he's nervous. Look at his legs. He's twitching. He's anxious. He doesn't even know what to do. He knows that Evans could do anything right now. Evans backs off the line to warm up the tyres. He wants even more grip. He wants to go even faster. The door slams shut. The arm is in the air. We are ready to go. Off the line. Vaskelis to lead. Oliver Evans to give chase. And this is it. This could be the one. This could be the weekend that Evans comes back. They come through the gears and down the hill. And look at Vaskelis. Absolutely flying. But Evans is door to door with him as they fly into the initiation. Left foot braking from both these guys as they come back in. And Evans holds up on the transition to get that proximity. Almost contact. Evans almost takes the front off the car as they come down the middle of the circuit. A big straighten from Evans. Evans makes a huge mistake as he dives up onto the side of the door of that BMW of Vaskelis. Vaskelis stays in it. Can he hold it together as Evans looks for the side once again, and now he starts to bring the fight. The proximity is in the game as Evans jumps up onto the back bumper of Aramis Vaskelis, and they come across the line. Wigan for the final turn. Make some noise!
Unbelievable driving again from both of these contenders. Neither of them deserve it more, but you've got to choose. The judges are going to have to choose. The proximity from Vaskelis in the chase position was absolutely fantastic. Oliver Evans not far behind when he had a turn to chase as well, but he did straighten up. He made a big error that could go in Vaskelis' favour. We're just going to have to wait and see if the judges have got a decision.
I tell you what, even better than that, let's ask the crowd. Who wants Aramis Vaskelis to get the win? Who wants Oliver Evans to get the win? Who wants to see him go one more time? Not many people. The score is in. Oh, we got one vote for one more time. Oh, we're going to go one more time! Judges, literally, I nearly passed out on that last battle. Too close to call. We're going to send them one more time.
Yeah, way too close to call. Errors from both drivers between clips 2, 3 in terms of not getting out onto the clipping points. Proximity was good from both drivers as they were around the final corner. We had a 7-3 advantage Aramis and then a 7-3 advantage to Ollie. One more time we're going again.
I don't even know if I could do it again.
I think your voice is going to just run out completely.
I don't even know if I could do it again, and next weekend I've got to go to Ireland to the final of Drift Masters European Championship and do it all again, where I see UK representing in Ireland, and that's going to be incredible. But there's nothing like coming home. There is nothing like coming home and seeing these guys go head to head, and people say to me, you just get excited because it's your job. And I tell you something right now, you learnt, Sarah, over this year
I have.
that I don't get excited for nothing, and I only get excited when these guys put on a show. Wigan, I asked you to make some noise. I know you guys are starting to leave because the rain is absolutely hammering down. But I promise you, Wigan, I promise you from the bottom of my heart, this is the final battle of the day. There is no more one more times after this. They have to come to a decision. We're almost out of time. We are almost out of breath. But we're going to send them one more time. It will be Oliver Evans to lead out Aramis Vouskalis, and Vouskalis sits in his car saying, I don't even know what to do. I don't even know how much more I can push before I actually push Evans off the track and into the crowd.
He's absolutely bringing it. I mean, the crowd did not want him one more time there. They sounded like they had their decision made. The judges have obviously made a decision on lots and lots of different aspects of those battles, so
the Lithuanian contingency right down here, they didn't want that to go one more time.
Absolutely not.
But before we send them, Wigan, are you ready for the final runs of the day? Send them, Toby. It will be Oliver Evans to lead, Vouskalis to give chase. And this is it, the final one more time of this weekend. And round 5, you have been an absolute pleasure. But you are still not giving up a winner just yet as they come smashing through the gears. Down the hill they go. Look at Vouskalis. He knows he needs to be on the back bumper, and he certainly gets what's left at the back of Oliver Evans' car as they jump into the middle of the circuit, sacrificing outside zones 2 and 3 this time. Now these guys are going to transition back, a little bit of room given. Vouskalis dials on the angle as he transitions on the back bumper. Going to need to make a dive right now. Is Aramis Vouskalis, can he do it? Or is he going to stay away? He stays away, now starts to make the dive. He makes the dive up into the side, but he's very shallow, making a whole host of errors. Is Aramis Vouskalis as he starts to push Oliver Evans around the final turn, and across the line they go.
Unbelievable. A little bit scrappy from Vouskalis, but the proximity has got to be rewarded for that. I think he almost, if he didn't make contact there, I'd be very surprised. He gave him a little push around that corner.
I think Vouskalis is on the ropes. I'm going to say it now, I think Vouskalis is on the ropes because Oliver Evans was incredible there in that lead position. I know he sacrificed a few outside zones at the beginning of the run, but for me, Vouskalis made a few mistakes. He was panicked.
Yes.
And he's sitting in that car and he's thinking, I don't know what to do. I don't know what more I can do. I can just give as much as I can give. And Evans says, bring it, buddy. Oh, Vouskalis is out the car. Vouskalis is out of the car. Oh, he's cleaning the windscreen. He's got more problems. Yeah, he's got more. Do you know what? That car's steaming up run after run. Could this be the problem for Vouskalis? He gets back into the car. He says, I don't care. I don't care if I can see. I'm just going to go for it right now. And we can see Evans on the line. That car battered and bruised. It took so many hits this weekend. And Evans on the radio to his spotter saying, well, what do I do? And they say, you've got to leave your mark. You leave your mark on Vouskalis' car. He warms up the tyres. And both guys begin to pull to the line for the final run here at round 5 of the 2019 British Drift Championship. And what an event this has been. What a round it's proved to be. Sunshine, rain, we've had it all. Frill, spills, accidents. And a one more time in the pro final for the championship points. They pull up to the line. They get the thumbs up. Wigan, are you ready for the final run of the day? Here we go, Toby, send them off the line. Vouskalis to lead, Evans to give chase. Now Evans needs to paint the side of that car with tyre marks if he can. They come round the rolling start and up the hill. And here we go, they start to smash through the gears as Evans looks for the side of that BMW. Onto the back bumper he goes as Vouskalis fires that car in. And now Evans finds that proximity, no separation this time as he once again transitions. Vouskalis sacrificing outside zones. Oh, and almost contact again from Evans on that transition. As they come through the middle of the circuit, this is where Evans makes the dive. This is where he starts to seal the deal right now, but he doesn't take the opportunity. He doesn't take the move this time as Vouskalis fires that car into outside zone A. Evans jumps up onto the door and starts to pour some rain. Can he leave a tyre mark? He's going to certainly try as he goes door to door with Aramis Vouskalis and across the line for the final time. Wigan, show your appreciation.
I would love to say that this should be one more time, but we're already in that situation.
No chance.
There's got to be a decision made. This is going to be the most tense podium announcement we've had this season.
This was so close. And Wigan, do you know what, before, as you guys are leaving, I just want to say a huge thank you to every single person that came out this weekend, that stood out here in the sun, in the rain, and supported UK Drifting, because without you fans, none of you guys, we wouldn't have this show, and I wouldn't have anyone to shout out, and I wouldn't have anyone to make cheer all weekend. I've had an absolute blast coming back to the BDC and enjoying watching UK Drifting as we see Oliver Evans taunting Aramis Vazquez around the circuit right now as they make their way round to the podium. We are going to go to the podium. We can't go any more runs of the day. We just need to get that all-important piece of paperwork from our judges, and yeah, that MTech podium being put up now by our guys down there on the ground. And wow, what a day, what a day, what a weekend. What a day, what a weekend it's been. And I'm being handed bits of paper and text messages are flying around and people are saying, wow, look at this and look at that, and we are almost ready to go. As soon as I get the thumbs up from our guys in the tower and around the track. Brad McQueen, you want to say a word?
Generally, I'd just say that's the best final I've seen all season. Close proximity, kept the excitement up, but we do have a decision on this one, and I think for the layout of the track and the weather, we've experienced some of the best drifting in the UK today. So thank you very much to all the fans that have stayed out in the rain today. We appreciate it hard. Thanks.
So there we go, yeah, a word from our head judge, Brad McQueen. Yeah, look, those guys did an absolutely sterling job this weekend. A massive shout out to Ryan Pothecary, Brad McQueen and Ben Manuel in the judging tower. Not an easy weekend for them, and you know what, not an easy weekend for anybody here. We've been pushed to the ropes and back again, and even in the dry, it still makes it hard work, right, Sarah?
Absolutely. It's been a testing weekend for everybody, every single person involved, whether it's mechanics, drivers, the judges, even us. I think.
Even us, even my poor voice.
Even Ian's poor voice. But just while we're waiting for the guys to sort out the podium down there and we can announce the winners of the podium, I'll just say another thank you to our sponsors, a massive, massive thank you, because without the sponsors involved in the championship, it just would not be able to come to fruition for any of us to enjoy. So thank you to Hell Performance, MTech Brakes, On It, Funk Motorsport, AM Details, Samco Sport, Yellow Speed Racing, Excite Energy, Simpson, OBP Motorsport, Corbo Seats, Tarmac Sports, Competition Clutch and Slide Motorsport. Huge, huge thank you to all the sponsors involved.
So there we go, almost ready for the podium. We are just awaiting to get the signal to find out if we are ready to give away some trophies. And as soon as we can. I've got the all-important piece of paperwork right in front of me. And I know exactly who is getting what and where they are getting it. And there we go, you can see the camera down there ready to do the podium. So we can see Matt House down there, our man on the ground. He gives me the thumbs up, and that means, ladies and gentlemen, I can now give away the podium. And I think the first trophy of the day that we are going to give out will be the exciting driver of the day. That is our exciting hard charger. That is a driver that our judges felt was the man who pushed it to the limit and beyond. And not only did this man push it to the limit and beyond, but he did it in a borrowed car. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for your exciting hard charger of the day, Ricky Lawrence, ladies and gentlemen. So Ricky Lawrence, you want to make your way down onto the track, onto the grid to get your exciting hard charger award. Incredible, incredible stuff. And that means we can now do the podium, the all-important bit. And I can confirm, taking third step on the podium here at round 5, the MTech Brakes podium, third step, is Adam Simmons, ladies and gentlemen. So there we go, Adam Simmons takes third step on the MTech Brakes podium, and very well deserved. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Martin Wonnacott. A hard fought battle this weekend, unfortunately just couldn't hold that car together for the final runs of the weekend. And well, that just leaves 2 more places left to go. But before we do that, I am going to shout out the Tarmac Sports Constructors Championship this weekend. Goes to a man who's already on the podium. Give it up for your Team Constructors winner, Slide Motorsport, ladies and gentlemen. Slide Motorsport get the Team Constructors Championship trophy this weekend. An incredible job by all of those guys. Slide Motorsport for getting that team constructors. Adam Simmons doing double duty there on the MTech Brakes podium, and this is it. This is it. No more. 2 more trophies to give out. No more other awards. The serious bit of the business. I can confirm, ladies and gentlemen, taking first step on the podium here at round 5 of the 2019 British Drift Championship. Make some noise for Aramis Fiscalis, ladies and gentlemen! Aramis Fiscalis takes the first step on the MTech Brakes podium. Ollie Evans takes second step on the MTech Brakes podium. What a weekend it has been. An incredible, incredible battle. Those guys put it all on the line, and you know what? It's tight at the top right now. Wow, what a weekend, what an event, and these guys doing us proud. So that is it, your MTech Brakes podium is decided. Aramis Fiscalis takes first place, Oliver Evans takes second, and Adam Simmons rounds it out in third place. Give it up for Martin Wonacott in fourth place this weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, from me, from Sarah, from our judges, from everybody here at the British Drift Championship, we will see you soon at the final. Don't go anywhere, and we'll see you very, very soon.
We are Funk Motorsport, your heat management specialists. Based in the UK, we strive for perfection, developing thermal products trusted by professional race teams and drivers worldwide. Performance, protection, reliability.
Tarmac Sports.
Get your wet top off and put that on.
No, it's not the wet.
No.
Duris pradarytos naktį, nori, kad irgi plėtras tokiam mes važiuodami. Eik ten.